Well, the news is ramping up as usual. It keeps getting crazier. It gets crazier and crazier all the time. We got a whole bunch of drama news. We got some political news, which is usually not a thing because I fucking hate politics. We got a whole bunch of gaming news. The gaming news is actually, it looks like it's bad news, but really it's good news because culture is shifting. Everything is doing a 180 and people are freaking out and people are lying, and now they're outright admitting they're lying and admitting that they don't care. But let's get into the first story. So Candace Owens is saying some crazy stuff, man, and I don't believe her. I also don't not believe her. I kind of don't care, but it is crazy, and I want to take a look at it because I heard that she was saying some crazy stuff about Charlie Kirk, some crazy stuff about Trump, some crazy stuff about Trump and Charlie Kirk. So let's check it out. From Masman Gold, what the fuck is happening here, dude?
Just really needed to just take a breather and really process everything that happened with Charlie and what it kind of means in terms of where we are. And I think it is a circumstance where we just know that he was truly betrayed.
Do we know this? Hold on. Who knows that he was betrayed? I don't think he was betrayed. I think he was just killed by a crazy guy. But what do I know?
One of the most egregious ways that I think I've ever seen. It has made me lose faith in politics. It has made me fully
well, I guess welcome to the club. I've been there for a long time.
Lose faith in Trump. And
I don't know if I've lost faith in Trump. What faith in Trump for what?
My heart aches for the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics. And
what's she talking about?
We're like, nope. That is it. It serves us or it doesn't serve us, and we want to move on. And so here's a holiday. Bro, if they try to give me a holiday, what is with them giving people a holiday after they kill them? Why is that a thing? You know what I mean? Like, oh, Martin Luther King.
What the fuck is she talking about? What? Is she implying that Trump had Charlie Kirk killed? Hold on. What the fuck?
What about this holiday? What about this boulevard? Anyways, let me knock it off.
If that's what she's saying, I did not expect that.
Like, they're going to give Charlie Kirk a boulevard. They already did. They did in Israel. They gave him freaking boulevard. It's like, as soon as they give you a boulevard and a holiday, they definitely killed you.
What the fuck? Okay. All right. I don't know what to say.
Question. They killed you. There's no way. That's like their signature thing. It's like that's what they do. It's the Fed signature. It's how they sign off after they murder you. They're like holiday and a boulevard. And it's never on a nice side of town either. Like Charlie Kirk Boulevard is not gonna be a nice side of town.
Dude, somebody needs to check her brain. I think she might be schizophrenic. What the fuck?
Anyways, I will be back on the 27th, you guys. Thank you guys for all the support throughout these couple of weeks, these last really kind of 6 weeks since Charlie died. And we will see you guys then.
She's really been on one, huh? Either
she is farming hardcore and she's actually evil, or she believes this shit and she's just insane. Or she's right, and I don't know. I don't know how to handle that one if she is right. But no. Like you can't just say that shit. You got to provide hard evidence. She just has a feeling. She has a feeling, and I heard her say that Charlie talked to her in a dream and said that Israel killed her or killed him or something. That's fucking insane. That is something an insane person says.
Because I'm telling you, I don't even think these people are human. Like, I look at Elon Musk and Sam.
Oh! So Elon Musk was involved.
Altman and leading people into AI. I have always sensed this demonic because I'm telling you, I don't even think these people are human. Like, I look at Elon Musk and Sam Altman and Peter Thiel, and I'm pretty sure they're hybrid. You know what I mean? Like they just look like an Apple software that I should be able to download at night, you know? Like when my phone's getting an update or something. It's something in the eyes. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I know I'm human, but I don't know if I stabbed you.
I can say the same thing about her, though. I can say the same thing about anybody. You look at the eyes.
You bleed, you know? I'm not going to stab them, but I don't know if they bleed all the way. I think a battery would fall out. You know what I mean?
She's saying they're robots. Did she believe this? There's no way. She has to be trolling the internet. She's got to be farming.
And I just get that sense. I've always known it was demonic.
She just has that feeling.
And people just get on board because, as we talked about in this book, they are using science and this idea of technology and this idea of transforming society for the better to indoctrinate us into accepting this. And it's wrong and it's backwards. And they weigh the main component of all of this is psychology, right?
Yeah, bro, that interview with Nick Fuentes.
I don't know what one interview.
That was the end. It really was. That sent her over the edge. Like, I'll show you all a clip from that.
Yes,
and you'll
please.
See.
Yes,
They're able
please.
to do it because of psychology, making you think that society has gotten better. Our kids have objectively gotten dumber. We've become fatter. We've become less healthy. We've become.
I haven't. I'm pretty healthy. The kids that are around me, they're not stupid. They're actually pretty fucking smart, and they don't use like modern technology really. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Less.
It's not everybody.
Emotionally sound, and yet they are convincing us that this is like human's.
She needs to get off the internet for a little while, man. She is cooking her brain.
Humanity.
This is what happened to the leftoids. It's gonna get worse, guys. It's gonna get so much worse. She's got fans. She has actual fans, by the way. Like Hasan Piker has fans. This lady, in my opinion, is more insane than Hasan Piker.
He's great leap forward. We put a man on the moon.
She's not at the pro-terrorism part yet, but I think she's getting there. Especially with rhetoric like, they probably don't bleed, you know? Like, hey, how about we find out? Get the fuck out of here.
And he just like called them up and was like, "Hey, Prez, what's up? I'm up here. Yeah, it's so cool."
Is she just soft launching the fact that the moon landing is fake? Like, cause I feel like she's just kind of throwing that one in there as like a
You want to know my opinion on the moon landing being fake? I don't give a shit. There you go.
Yeah, by the way, type situation, isn't she?
It's really great. It's nice. Starry night up here. Cabinet texture, I go by in 69 and they get these people, they tell you like he's a genius, they're all writing like he's a genius, so we should just accept that Elon Musk is a genius, because like all the writers who are obviously indoctrinated into the occult are telling us that this is the next person that we should worship, the establishment of Hollywood.
You know what she sounds like? She sounds like a chat. She sounds like a Twitch chat. She sounds like she probably is cooked by her Twitch chat, and she's just saying the same things that a Twitch chat would say. This is fucking insane.
It was all cults. They were all Aleister Crowley proteges who were just raping kids and summoning demons. And demons.
What the fuck? She's saying all of the things.
Damn, so that just got that went up real quick.
Wow. Yeah, this is like Alex Jones if Alex Jones was social media brain rotted.
Wow. She done? I mean, to be fair, Aleister Crowley did try to join an organization because they could cast spells and shit, and it was a secret organization, and he did do that. But as far as I know, he didn't cast any spells. And whenever he got a lot older, that was a try. Well, yeah, he tried to do it. I mean, of course, like he was into, I think he went to like Oxford or something like that. He was a British guy.
I actually know quite a bit about Aleister Crowley.
And, you know, he did that. He did join it. Yeah, no, he said he casted spells, but I never saw one. We never saw a spell like that he did. Like, and, so no, he went in on it. Like he was in on it for a while.
Casting spells. Even if he was casting spells, that's such bullshit.
Are real. So at the same time that they're summoning demons, they are making us all believe that faith is not real. And that has been, I think, the greatest.
So they want, just real quick, I'm going to just take this back just so we can just make sure we put all this in context real quick. One more again.
and demons are real. So at the same time, if their souls, they were all Aleister Crowley proteges who were just raping kids and summoning demons, and demons are real. So at the same time, if they're summoning demons, they are making us all believe that faith is not real. And that has been, I think, the greatest.
Yeah. I do agree with that take.
Which, by the way, doesn't even logically make sense. Even if you can summon demons from an alternate universe,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that God's real.
Whoa, hold on.
Like, this is like even.
I mean, I guess technically right, Asmongold, but I don't think he needs to talk about anything to do with God because he has no idea what he's talking about.
Even inside of the framing that you're creating, it still doesn't even make you right.
Right? Exactly.
The greatest trick that the devil ever
like
played.
She'll drop these things that are true or could be true in with all of her bullshit, because I do believe in like summoning demons being real. I believe in God. I'm a Christian, but also this shit's retarded. I don't think Mr. Crowley actually had any power. I don't think he was actually able to do the things he wanted whenever he was summoning demons.
Right? Is making people think that he didn't exist, and making people atheist, making people believe that there's nothing, like you're here for a moment in time.
Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't, because demon is a word that you're assigning to them. You're assigning this word to an otherworldly creature. This happened in World of Warcraft with the Worgen. In fact, actually, this is how I've thought about this. And so the Worgen were summoned from an alternate reality as well, but they really weren't that crazy or different. It's just they were from another world.
Yep.
So no, it's just because you summon an otherworldly creature, it still doesn't mean that you summoned a demon. Even if you call the demon, it doesn't mean it's a demon.
Well, I disagree with that take. That's kind of a dumb take. But also, I don't think demons have any real power unless you let them have power.
Because a demon implies that there's like an entire mythology around that thing's existence, and that's not defined. So it's just not even true. Like it's not even inside of the context of what she's saying. It's not even true. It's like,
I agree with that second part. The first part where he says it's not true with the demons and stuff being real, that's not true, because they definitely are, and I have seen them, and I have seen them work in people. But in the context that she's talking about, no, this is complete bullshit.
It's like it's the retarded.
And it allows them to further tether us to their reality and to their God, which is money.
Yes.
Right? Well, if you truly knew and believed, like I do, I actually know that this is not it. Like I know this is not it.
Yeah.
But
she knows.
You truly believed that, you wouldn't sell your soul. People think that that's just like an expression. Oh, he sold his soul. No, you are literally selling your soul. Like when
You can't sell your soul. That's not a thing that can happen. You can think that you sold your soul, but you can't sell your soul, because you know who bought all of our souls? It was Jesus Christ. You can't sell something that's not yours.
you tell lies and you go down a path of lying because you're so afraid of not having the security of a paycheck, or you're willing to do something terrible to maintain that job.
This goes against even okay, so that's not even true, because like inside of like the Church of Satanism, Aleister Crowley and everything, there's a process of giving up your soul to Lucifer. Like this is already, like, you don't even know what you're talking about. Like you're so dumb that you don't even realize it. What is this? You do? Yeah, there's a process. There's a whole process to doing this.
Yep. It's dumb, but yeah.
Keeping your mouth shut to maintain that job. We're seeing it right now with the Charlie Kirk case, right? You're selling your soul. Like there's a life after this. They have made you pledge your allegiance to their dollar because they know life is going on.
Yeah.
They know that. They want you to literally sell them your soul. That's my personal belief. It's why I am.
Was Aleister Crowley expelled from the Golden Dawn? The Golden Dawn was the secretive wizard society that he was a part of. Was he expelled from it? I don't remember. That's
like who gives a shit?
That's deep. Like I don't remember that or not. I think maybe I don't remember.
Religious. It's why I speak about
yes.
My faith openly, because I just know if this is not it, and I just know these people are demons. Like I don't know. They just like look at the way they breathe. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. Look at the way they
look at
breathe.
Sam Altman. I'm like, look, I don't know. But
Somebody's
I know.
laughing in the
That's
background.
droid, obviously.
Even they realize this shit's crazy.
We'll be back on Monday.
Either that or that was a demon laughing in the background and she's the one that's actually sold her soul. Even though you can't do that. That's not how that works. Stupid people think that they can sell their soul, but that's not how that works. Really, you're just giving up your eternal life and being separated from God. Which, by the way, if you don't give your life to God, then you have no life. There is no soul to sell because it'll be gone. You'll be separated.
I'm not gonna listen to this fucking audio. This audio is so fucking bad. And so
politics, and they just were like, nope, that is it. It serves us or it doesn't serve us, and we want to move on. And so here's a holiday. Bro, if they try to give me a holiday, what is with them giving people a holiday after?
The federal government, the Trump administration killed Charlie Kirk is the claim.
that's a lot. That really, like, I'm telling you, and like, this was the beginning of the end. This was the beginning of the end right here.
If you are, do you attend the mass?
I do.
Like, do you go every Sunday?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so you're like a committed Catholic. Then obviously, like, you know, the perspectives on family. I mean, I personally, and this would be me lecturing, but I just feel like you really have no idea who you are until you start a family. And whether that means just marriage, some people who are struggling to have children, okay, fine. But there's such a...
Dude. Oh, she's fucking stupid, man. You don't actually know who you are until you die. That's the point of everything.
a growth that happens because of that I think it informs your beliefs in so many ways. And I think that was a huge turning point for me. Like, I wonder if I had been pressed with everything that happened last year, if I didn't have like the unshaken faith and my family, what would I have done? And sometimes when I see the things that you say, I do think, okay, he doesn't take into account family.
Yeah, she like gets into this place. A lot of people do this where they're like, well, I have discovered myself and this is who I'm going to be for eternity now. That's not how it works. No, you're going to be lying to yourself until you die. All of us do. You don't actually know yourself until you're in front of God.
Like, it's just Nick. Nick is in his own world, which can be, I think, a quite selfish perspective, which is fine. That's what you're saying. You like being selfish is another way to say what you just said. I like being selfish and I don't want to give of myself to somebody else. But
Well, I also think there's something selfless involved, which is to say, I could go and start a family and drag them into a world of mine, which is pretty chaotic. You know, I mean, is this really the kind of a lifestyle? If I'm banned on everything and I can't make a living, I'm banned from banking, I'm banned from credit card processing, I'm getting doxxed, people are showing up to my house trying to kill me, things like that. And what's more, I mean, let's also get, you know, I also don't appreciate the lecture. You don't know me, you know, so I know you're married. I know you're older than me, but you don't know me. You don't know my life. You don't know my situation. I don't think you're in a position to give me advice, especially as a woman, honestly.
Damn. Fuck. Got
This
her.
really, bro.
Got her.
This was the end.
I don't think women, you know, this is something in the right
This
wing.
was
We
the
say we're
end.
anti-feminist, and then women go around telling men what to do, who are not their husbands.
Dude,
and,
fuck.
you know, I don't really buy into
True.
that ideologically, but that's besides the point. You know, my life has been tumultuous from the very beginning.
Oh shit! And then
Yeah, I don't like Nick Fuentes, but why do you gotta make me side with him?
this was the one. Oh my god. I don't even know if I can watch this one. But this was the end. Yes, the scrambled her brain. Yeah, this was it. This radicalizer, watch. I think I can.
Come on, watch it. Yes,
I'm trying to
thank you.
understand if you're actually, you think that it's all black people are like this, or if your world is kind of colored by this is what's going on in America. This has failed for 1,000 reasons. Welfareism has definitely, like, I mean, black people in 1940s stand up. My grandfather, I talk about that denigration and the corrosion of
Yeah.
culture. That's happening. White, black, whatever you want to name it. There is this intentional corrosion of culture. So do you think it's literally, well, this is just what a Black person is when they come out? Or do you think that post welfare, LBJ, Great Society, this is what Black Americans have become, and I have a right to respond to that and say that as a white man, I don't want to live there?
Well, you know,
This was it.
think it's more nature than people would like to believe. You know,
This
there's
was
this
it.
classic tension of, is it nature, is it nurture, is it cultural, or is it intrinsic, is it racial? And I've always been on the latter side of this among conservatives. Conservatives like to say it's all culture. Black America is the way it is because of hip hop music and the Great Society and that kind of stuff. And I think the uncomfortable reality is a big part of it is intrinsic. You know, one of the big arguments against the abolition of slavery in the 1860s.
He actually is going there. He goes on her show. Yep. As I said,
The problem is he's like 10% right. He's like 10% right about the nature thing. The whole slavery thing, that's bad. We should not be enslaving people. And we should not be racist toward each other. But I do think it's weird. We have different cultures, but also our nature is different. Like Black people, they were bred in a different part of the world for thousands of years. Of course, their nature is going to be different. And whenever you have a bunch of people over here that's they're not in their natural habitat, over time, I think that it changes. Your natural habitat changes through genetics, and it can happen fairly quickly. But yeah, I agree with that. But I think he's trying to say that like Black people are bad, and that's just complete fucking bullshit. They're just different, and that's okay.
think this, and also the other thing is the reception to this was overwhelmingly, you know, I'm not giving a statement on this. Overwhelmingly, a lot of people agreed with Nick. That's what
I think it's just a couple of retards on different sides of the aisle on certain situations that are having a conversation and being fucking retarded.
happened.
Is that
And the biggest problem is they're both like 10% right. And that's not enough. That is not enough. And then people hear the right stuff and they're like, oh, and then they buy into all of it. It's fucking ridiculous, man.
you know, when Europeans colonized Africa, they hadn't discovered the wheel. There's no two-story buildings. There's no writing. There's no written language.
Yeah, but look at all the other cool stuff that they had. They had different cool stuff. Go hunting with an African tribe. You would not be able to explain how they do a lot of the shit that they do, because that's their nature, because that's where they were bred. That's where they've been for such a long time. That's what they've been doing for such a long time.
Missionaries had to go to Africa in the last century and invent it for the African people, because there's no recorded history. They didn't have writing.
So Egypt is not in Africa.
Well, Egypt is a different race. The Egyptians were not black.
Okay, but you said when they went to Africa, so
That's
I just
true.
want to...
The interior of Africa in the late 19th century, scrambled for
Okay,
Africa.
so we're now knocking Egypt out of Africa.
Well, Egypt is part of northern Africa,
Right, but
sub-Saharan
it's
Africa.
You said Africa, so it's not. I'm not trying to get a...
Yes, you are. You're trying to. Oh man, she's so fucking stupid, dude. I hate listening to her. I feel like my brain is melting. Because you know exactly what he was talking about with Africa. You know exactly what he was talking about.
Gotcha. I'm just responding. You're saying
Okay, sure.
Africa.
Yeah.
It's in Africa. It's Egypt. It's kind of ridiculous to say there was no written language.
Well,
so I'm just trying to get you to
Sure.
you know,
Egyptians are not African.
Man.
I'm not pushing back. The internet will. So, you know.
Egyptians are not racial Africans.
The internet did push back. That's the problem.
When I say African, I'm saying sub-Saharan African.
Sub-Saharan. Okay.
Black
say that.
people yeah, because it is a different race. In sub-Saharan Africa, and Europeans did not penetrate that until late 19th century, They didn't have any of this. To the extent that you have infrastructure in Africa, it's from the Muslims in the Sahel, in the Maghreb, in northern Africa, where the Arabs colonized. And then you had, Carthage and Egypt. You had ancient civilizations. But sub-Saharan Africa, they didn't have that. You take these people out of that land and put them here, and they're enslaved people. You let them free in a...
So this definitely... I think this was the beginning of the end for Candace Owens. This was it. I think this interview and the response to this interview that happened, I think it broke her. I think that after this interview, there was Candace Owens before this interview. Why? I don't know.
Because she had nothing to say. She had no pushback. He won, and there was no doubt about it, because he's 10% right, and she was 1% right in this conversation.
Yeah, why though? I mean, I could come up with a number of different reasons why, right? I mean, like, I could start theorizing and, socio-analyzing and everything, but at the end of the day, it happened. She get 5K more live views than you, so how is this the end? Does Candace Owens get 250 live, like what would it be like? So I get, like, let's say 50K viewers, right? Does that mean that she gets like 200 and like, there's no way she gets that many, right? How many people watch her? Like, cause how many views does she get on YouTube? Is there there's got to be like a channel they upload, because she's uploading each video has a lot of views, but there's a very, very slow frequency of videos, so it's harder for me to gauge. But she is popular. I'm not saying that she isn't popular. That's not what I'm saying.
That's bad. That's so bad that she's so popular. She's got so many brain-cooked morons probably just throwing her on in the background.
I'm saying that, again, this definitely broke her. It did. It broke her. Like, it did. And if people don't want to see it, she's incredibly popular. She is. But if y'all think that this interview did not do damage, and this interview did not have anything, it did not do anything, I think that you are out of your mind. I think that it 100% did. I think that it played a role. And anybody that's trying to act like it didn't, I think is just going off and trying to do it for one specific reason. And that's it. It broke her brain. It is.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's probably going to have a fall off, just like the legacy media did, because she's kind of like a younger version of the legacy media, and she's doing all the late millennial shows, which are going to be on their way out very, very soon, and I don't think she's going to know what the fuck to do. She's got a whole bunch of crazy people in her audience, just like Hasan does. And she's got a bigger audience. This fucked, man. And hopefully she doesn't flip and start calling for violence. Because that's what these crazy people end up doing whenever everything in the world is a problem. Donate to the Fables Folly Farm. Let's talk about Hasan. Because a bunch of crazy stuff has been happening with Hasan. I tried to skip a day. And too much happened, man. I shouldn't have skipped. Now I can't cover it all. I'm going to miss some things. But here's a bunch of it from More Pegasus.
Welcome back to a series so electric, even Jolty unsubscribed. In today's video, Hasan is calling out everybody for apparently being fooled by the shock collar situation. Hasan's community is losing their minds at Ludwig for calling out Hasan.
Yeah, just like we said was gonna happen to anybody who's friends with Hasan that just decides to say something against Hasan. The entire Hasan community goes after that person. And now we're seeing it with Ludwig. It's crazy.
They're harassing QT Cinderella for daring to mention Asmongold's streamer show. Ethan has responded.
Yeah, and this is why everybody was afraid to say anything about Hasan.
To several clips about Colorgate and is defending QT and Ludwig from the harassment. Asmon has responded talking about his experience with Hasan's toxic community. Ultimate Gooning Lord Dan Clancy is talking about testifying in front of Congress regarding Twitch radicalizing people into violence, and he says Twitch is not responsible at all.
What?
More streamers are exposing Dan Clancy for hanging out with 3 15-year-old e-girls, diabolical, and a bunch of more updates. Subscribe.
A bunch
or
of
you
more
turn
updates,
into
man.
Palpatine
Too many.
podcast.
Too many updates.
Now let's begin. So Hasan apparently zapped his dog and we had a ton of stuff go down. Now after all that, he said he wanted to quit streaming because of the backlash.
I hate fucking streaming. I want to shut everything off. I just want to go away.
Right, so now Hasan is calling out people for being duped by Colorgate, basically still saying that everybody is lying and he didn't have a shock collar, and he also mentions his favorite politician.
Even his friends. Even his friends. By the way, this guy's an actual fucking terrorist. This guy on screen right here.
Zoran Mamdani, who recently actually disavowed him as well.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it.
I find the comments that Hasan made on 9/11 to be objectionable and reprehensible in this country.
Hasan
Yeah, because he has to say that.
calls out those who were duped by Colorgate.
Like, look into that guy. He said some crazy shit. He was talking about shutting down a prison and setting 7,000 people free. Setting 7,000 criminals free into the streets. Not only that, he's basically wanting to turn New York into a Muslim country.
etc.
It's not even a significant problem for someone like myself. It's just at most going to do reputational damage to me for like a fucking week. And then people that hate me are going to use this as an opportunity to be like, oh, everybody hates you, law. And then what? Okay, a week later, the Trump administration is going to continue doing its fucking fascism, and people.
Dude, he just can't help himself. He can't help himself to just... Is this what he does to keep people talking about him? Is this how he stays relevant? Has he figured out this is the key now? Because he was losing viewership very, very quickly. So he just has to make himself look like an even bigger retard than ever before.
They're going to realize, oh, wait a minute, maybe we were wrong about this fucking dude. This has been my entire career. People get whipped up in a frenzy over nonsensical shit, whether it's because...
Dude, you're pro-terrorism. That's actually what the center of all of this is. Everything else is just extra.
Because I bought a fucking house, or whether it's because I leased a Porsche, or whatever the fuck. Or because they've imagined that I'm like abusing my dog by...
Yeah, of course, it doesn't bring up the actual calls for violence and terrorism support.
Because she fucking sleeps behind me for extended periods of time. I can't believe dogs sleep in the same cot, It's just people make up their minds and then they realize maybe they were duped. It is what it is. The reality of the matter is...
Nobody's saying that. Nobody is saying that they were duped. Nobody thinks this. Actually, more people are against Hasan on this than ever before. Like, what the fuck? He is actually hallucinating.
Hate that Zoran and I linked up is not because of my 2019 comments about 9/11. It's because I've been a proud, loud, fuck Israel
terrorism supporter
advocate for the past 10 years, and it's been especially important.
Of course,
he actually glazes and loves Hamas and has said it so many times, and they are actually a terrorist organization deemed that by the government.
Israel, guys. It's in my walls. It's underneath my skin. This man is running on an AI script. It's actually,
you know what? I'm going to move away from this video for a second because I want to talk about that guy.
New York, trying their absolute best to destroy the city in real time by, appointing a mayor that's a communist, radical Islamist. But, the government is doing their absolute best to cook New York in the best way possible, medium rare. So this is the Department of Homeland Security. New York's Canal Street is safer. You know why? Because 9 illegal aliens arrested have violent rap sheets, including robbery, burglary, domestic violence, assaulting law enforcement, counterfeiting, drug trafficking, drug possession, and forgery. This entire situation. But first, I need to show you exactly what's going on with the illegals in the country, because I do the breaking on the ground journalism that everyone needs. Definitely subscribe for some on the ground journalism. So these are Department of Homeland Security agents doing takedowns of illegals and rioters in New York City. That's right, baby. They've made it to New York. By the way, Zoran Mamdani, the guy who's probably going to be the next mayor of New York, directly said he wants to abolish prisons and feels like these people should not be they should not be in jail. He said jails make criminals sad, so therefore we should abolish all the prisons. Get him out! Deport! Deport! Bye! 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 Damn. That's rough, buddy. Look, I'm a very simple man. A very simple man. If you come into the country illegally, you leave the country.
Yep.
Either yourself, or we make you leave. With a sore butt. That's right. He's taking the sore butt route, and that's what's happening. If you F around, you do find out. 1750, 0.1%. I am currently getting canceled on Twitter for being a racist, ladies and gentlemen. So I feel like now is the best time ever to take this moment and apologize. Psych! We are going to be doubling down, ladies and gentlemen.
Tripling
down
down
on everything. We are being invaded, and I am going to make fun of idiots today. Zoran Mamdani got exposed. Mehdi Hasan is beefing with Matt Walsh. Dearborn USA started going insane and chanting "Death to America."
They've been
Dearborn,
doing
Michigan. There's beef over the gigantic calls to prayer that happens 5 times a day coming out of mosques that people are complaining about. The
it gets crazier.
Ireland is currently protesting because there was a immigrant from a nebulous background that had sex with a 10-year-old and was kind of protected by the government, and they were like, no, we're not all for that. So now they're protesting in Ireland.
Well, you can't have with a 10-year-old. It's only...
You have no idea what's going on, and this is going to be an absolutely diabolical video, all right? It's going to be beautiful. So this is Zoran Mamdani. You might recognize him by his snazzy suit and wide smile that he always has on his face, and it's totally natural. We are going to be talking about him today because he is currently running to become the mayor of New York City. Now, you're probably thinking, well, he's a good New Yorker. There's no reason...
Yeah, currently running, and he's probably going to win.
No reason to assume that there's anything suspicious going on with Zoran Mamdani. But this is an old clip from 2019 that reemerged. And let's just say, it makes you wonder a thing or two about his strategy.
There's still, this illusion, and it's partially a result of settler colonialism, that all of us can become New Yorkers, that all of us can settle into the city. And
there's an illusion that we could become New Yorkers. Interesting. What do you mean by illusion? I thought you were a New Yorker.
Yeah, right.
There would be these moments where I would be reminded by someone whose intent was to tell me that you do not belong.
So, what he's saying is, I'm not a New Yorker. I am not assimilating. You will assimilate to me. Quiet part out loud.
And one of those first moments was on 9/11.
And now he goes through a bunch of fake stories.
When, before I knew what had happened, my teacher had pulled me and a Muslim classmate of mine out of the class and told us that something has happened and you may be bullied. And I want you to tell me if that happens.
I just think it's funny that this guy is coming out against Hasan because they believe in all of the same shit. I think it's just because Hasan is an idiot and he just lets it be known too obviously what they're actually doing, what their plans are. So he calls them out and says that he's garbage. Let's go a little bit ahead.
The only clip of him that was recently unearthed. This is an old clip of him in a mask, of course, as he tends to be.
We came here to
Yeah, by the way, Hasan fucking loves this guy.
make this state in the image of our people.
You came here to remake the state in the image of your people?
And all of the people who are voting for him, I don't know what they're thinking, man. I do not know what they're thinking. This guy is not for them. They're just fucking retarded. I think they're just going for him because he's against the other guy that they don't like.
What did he mean by that? Well, what did you mean? Did you mean some sort of colonialism? Maybe some sort of invasion, perhaps?
Right?
So that's the jizya tax. So no, they don't believe in coexistence, for the record. Now, let's make this clear. These people do not believe in coexistence.
No, they do not.
They're literally kicking a Christian pastor out of the city for being like, yo, can we not name a street after a Hezbollah terrorist? The Dimmy? Whatever. Anyway, Anywho, so this is an old clip where the Muslim mayor of Dearborn kicks a Christian pastor out of the city because he was like, yo, can we please not name a street after a terrorist? Now, the update is, this is what's going on in Dearborn now. This is what protesters were chanting in Dearborn.
We used to see videos like that were from like Iraq and Iran back in the day, back during the Bush era and the Obama era. But now we have let them into the country and are just letting them take over towns. And then they just are allowed to do stuff like that. And then you get disgusting people like this that are just for it.
Not a great look. The mayor condemned it. The White House condemned it. But what about Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib? She reps Dearborn. Is she okay with her constituents chanting death to America?
I wonder.
Fox Business correspondent Hillary Vaughn asked her. Watch.
Look at all the assimilation that we just saw.
Congresswoman Tlaib, Fox News. I don't talk to Fox News. At a rally in your district,
I don't
people
talk
were
to Fox
chanting death
News.
to America. Do you condemn?
Talk to Fox News.
But do you condemn chants of death to America?
I don't talk to people that use racist tropes.
What? Okay. Well, that's exactly what the Democrats do. So what the fuck are you talking about? She will only talk to like leftist media because they're not going to press her on stuff like this.
Why can't you just say whether or not you condemn people chanting death to America?
They're all the same. They're all the same. They will use your freedoms against you. 9/11 happened. You know, Zohran Mamdani most affected.
Yeah, all she had to say was, I don't talk to Fox News. Death to America is disgusting. That's all she had to do. She couldn't do that. These people are fucking violent freaks. It's a blood cult. It's a death cult.
Right? They're like, yo, could we please not name a street after a terrorist? Kicks you out of the city. It's like, yo, can you condemn chanting death to America? You must be racist.
Why are you afraid to talk to Fox?
Fox News is not listen, using racist tropes for
Dude, she doesn't even know what to say.
my community is what Fox
She doesn't know which lie that she wants to tell.
News is about, and I don't talk to Fox News.
Is death to America racist?
Fox News.
Is chanting death to America racist?
Talking about your guys' racist tropes. You know, you guys know exactly what you do. I know you're Islamophobic, but you guys got to go deal with it on your own self. You're not going to use me.
Yeah, that's right. You figure out the whole death to America thing yourself. I'm not going to condemn it. In fact,
And that's not being Islamophobic, but yeah, it gets worse.
Political structures that I have to work in, that we all are surrounded by, was built on slavery and genocide and rape and oppression.
Yawn.
Real change
Yawn.
doesn't come from the cowards and warmongers in Congress. It comes from the streets. It comes from all of us mobilizing and seizing the power to resist and fight back. Gaza is the compass in this country.
Wow. Oh, my God. Oh, Lord.
Now we're in Congress, and we're every corner of the United States. Look at this rooms, motherfuckers.
So that really kind of seems like someone is pretty pro Hamas, right? Pro terror.
When are we gonna get people actually chanting it? Like people in Congress, like leftists. When are they gonna start chanting that? I think it's coming soon. And I think it started with the Charlie Kirk stuff, and it's still going. Charlie Kirk stuff getting way worse. The rhetoric around it getting way, way worse. But let's go back to the Hasan Piker news, because I just wanted to show you that Hasan Piker loves these people. He loves all this shit. He's one of these types of leftoid freaks.
Crazy. You know, I can probably predict this guy's statements with like a 70 to 80% accuracy. That should not be possible with any human being, but with Hasan, he always reverts to the same thing. Israel, Asmongold, Ethan Klein. It's gotta be like something in that orbit.
Destiny.
Now he says
Oh
something like
shit.
people get
Holy shit. I knew he was gonna say that. Like, we know what the fuck is going on, dude.
mad at him for anything, right? Like buying a $3 million mansion, but he leaves out the context that
Man, I feel like I'm on fire in this video.
claims to be a socialist who lives on a basic necessity budget.
I live on a basic necessity budget for the most part anyway.
This is what he claims, yet he still buys supercars, designer clothes, and all this expensive shit, but then he wants you to tax the rich, make the rich pay, and then we...
But that's not happening, guys. That's not happening. You're hallucinating it. It's such a non-issue.
Even had that interview where this guy confronted him about living up to his socialist ideals, right? Giving up his house and moving out of his mansion. And his response was, no, guys, please, we need to first take everybody else's money. First, we need the health care. First.
Hasan acts like that he lives in the same situation that I do, where I actually live on a basic necessity budget. And I live in a tiny little building in the backyard on a farm. Like, this is what socialism is, basically.
We need everything else, and then...
I'm not a socialist, by the way.
And you can come
just
for
circumstance.
My mansions and my supercars, right? I'm a firm believer of socialism as long as it happens to everybody else first.
Oh, but if you had the money, Fables, wouldn't you live the same? No, I would not. I would not have a mansion, and I would not be buying expensive Porsches and shit like that. I'm not that kind of person. I'd probably have like a giant server room or something. I'd probably have like a DVD collection.
Now somehow he's still claiming that he doesn't mistreat his dog, like it sleeps behind me. I mean, I would
probably legitimately build a library and have like a dog farm.
Sleeping too, because if I'm awake, I would have nothing to do because I'm not even allowed to stretch my legs or take one step off of my bed without being electrocuted by Palpatine Piker here. You literally shocked the living shit out of her, so much so that she's literally confused at
Yep, hashtag never forget.
your commands and thinks that the only thing you want is to stay in place. It was absolutely evil, dude. Pure responded round 44 of Gasanabi, the gaslighter, gaslighting his viewers. But don't believe your eyes, the evidence, the testimonies, or nothing at all but me.
Gasanabi, that's funny because he wants to gas the...
Don't even believe Jellywig and his girlfriend. You don't even, like, your most loyal lapdogs have turned on you, and still apparently you can't admit it. It's not her sleeping behind you that's a problem, it's the fact that when she gets up to stretch, you shock her back into place. I mean, he knows that. He's purposely obfuscating so that his supporters get confused and they think that, oh, people are criticizing me because my dog is sleeping. Stupid dog, you made me look bad.
Yeah, it's like, they just for a split second, they're like, oh, is Hasan a bad person? And then Hasan will say some outright bullshit that they know isn't true, and they'll be like, oh, okay. Oh, man, I was almost against Hasan there, but he cleared that up for me.
On stream, Courage the Cowardly Dog Goated Show. Colorgate Day 16, by the way.
Fuck. Pirate Software. I'm glad that whole situation's over.
And it's Hasan and Pirate Software melded together. They pretty much are acting the same. Moving on to...
Hasan's way worse because Pirate Software never supported terrorism. Unless you want to count payment processors and giant corporations killing games as terrorism, which could be considered cultural terrorism, I guess.
Hasan's community absolutely losing their minds at Ludwig. Now, basically last time, Ludwig called out Hasan, saying it's 100% a shock collar.
Do I think Hasan shocks his dog? I have no fucking clue. I think he lied about having a shock collar. I think he 100% had a shock.
Yep, it's the boy who cried wolf. Like, you lie too many times, man, then everything you say is a lie. Nobody believes any of it. So everything that you say, we automatically assume is the opposite. Not talking about Ludwig, I'm talking about Hasan. So, like, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. And he's not even saying, no, I don't think he shocked him. He says, I don't know. Which is good enough for me.
A shock collar?
And I find it hilarious because Ludwig said, it's not brave to call out Hasan. It's the easiest thing to do. Well, that age...
Yeah, I wonder why it's the easiest thing to do.
Poorly, he's getting infinite backlash from these psychopathic freaks who think he turned on Hasan. Hasan fans are not taking the Ludwig news well, and it's like this massive freaking list.
I'm seeing posts on X about it. From big accounts.
Right, let's go through some of these. Him screwing over his own girlfriend's career because QT's on the podcast. He apologized to Destiny being mad at him. Ludwig probably hates Hasan because he spends more time with his girlfriend. Gutless Yakubian devil.
What does that mean? Gutless Yakubian devil. Yakub is a figure in the mythology of the Nation of Islam and its offshoot. Okay. The term Yakubian primarily refers to concepts individuals associated with Yakub, a central figure in the mythology of the Nation of Islam. According to something, NOI doctrine, Yakub was a black scientist who lived 6,600 years ago in Mecca and created the white race through a process of selective breeding called grafting. What the fuck? On the island of Patmos. Do people actually believe this? In modern usage, Yakubian has evolved. I hope I don't get like banned or something because I'm using that word, because I have no idea. Has evolved into internet slang often used derogatorily to describe white people. So you're just being fucking racist. You're just outright being racist. And we're the racists. And we're the Nazis. Okay. Okay. Right on, man. They're just using words that nobody knows the meaning of.
Implies that Ludwig thinks he's his IRL friend, abused his dog off stream, own girlfriend's a liar. Guy's friends with the dude who made AI core prawn deepfakes of women. And people wonder why Ludwig isn't
Yeah, judge a guy by what his friend did one time.
liked by a lot of people. Ludwig would kill a guy to avoid losing sponsors, saying I wouldn't even go to Hasan's funeral is crazy. And this is Haas Twitter, which is Hasan's Twitter community. This after Ludwig definitely says he owns a shock collar, would not call Hasan a friend, implied that socialism when you don't make money today. For someone who's a degree in journalism, not good at fact checking. I don't get Ludwig. He decides to dagger Hasan by saying it's 100% a shock collar and it's just a fact, and then immediately says, I don't know, after researching his TikTok For You page. Mother flipper, you know the dude, your partner is at his house every week. Happened again, Ludwig tried to take the middle road only to fall into a rotten
partner. Like you can immediately like see who these people are by the language that they use.
Hey,
I mean, his
used to
wife.
grow some courage. Don't waste your time getting mad at Lud. He always loved throwing Hasan under the bus for the memes. Funniest part is no matter how many times he does it, he still gets called Hasan's dog. Ludwig making public allegations instead of just asking Hasan or QT is unbelievably gross. As a Hasanabe head and a Lud butt, I can confidently say Ludwig is just that dumb. If he's dumb enough to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars to scams, I think he's dumb enough to think that's a shock collar.
Okay. That's just a projection every fucking time, dude.
Sad. It's proven it's a shock collar. Oh my god, dude. Hasan Twitter community gotta be the dumbest people on the planet. Oh, it's so easy to call out Hasan. Look at this, brah. You're getting cooked so much, and even your girlfriend is getting cooked so much so that she's having a breakdown and wants to quit, dude. Ludwig is genuinely one of the most spineless people on Twitch, and I stay reminded why I never liked him. He always sits on the fence. It's exhaustingly pathetic. I hate this freaking guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts doing some right-wing grift considering how hard his numbers have been dropping. What are you even talking about?
That's like you're coping because his numbers aren't dropping. They're staying the same mostly, and sometimes they go up and then they go back down to being the same that they've been for a very long time. He's not growing very much, sure.
About, dude. Ludwig's doing well. And why
Yeah.
did he become a right-wing grifter?
Look at his
he
chat.
specifically said he agrees with Hasan's politics as well. This is just Hasan's community, bro. They turn on you instantly.
Yeah, and they lie and they say racist shit, but also they call everybody racist. They call white people Nazis. It's fucking crazy.
And the thing is, what he said was factual. He said it is a shock collar because it's proven to be a shock collar. He didn't even say Hasan shocked the dog. It's absolutely crazy, bro. Moving on to Asmongold, talking about Hasan's community, and this is referencing the whole Ludwig situation and the endless harassment. Asmon says that Hasan's community is easily the most toxic he's dealt with and compares them to Destiny. I'll even give my experience with them as well.
Do you think that the most vicious, personal, and hostile forms of hate that I've have leveraged at me over all the years has absolutely been from Hasan's community? And it is not even remotely close. Like 100%, his community has been the most toxic and hostile. And again, if somebody else wants...
Yeah, if anybody wants to come into my comments, they're gonna get roasted, dude. You're gonna get roasted by me because you're absolutely fucking brain cooked and you're a degenerate.
To give their opinion on this or whatever else, that's fine. But when you have Dr. K saying this, you have, or at least indirectly, you have Ludwig saying this indirectly. I mean, come on, guys. Like, what are we doing here? I mean, how many points on a line or on a graph do you need to make a line? Yeah, that's it. It's the left overall. It is. It's left-wing people overall. And I think that his community...
Yeah, I don't like to call them left-wing. I like to call them leftoids.
...is a conduit for that. And you're right that in some ways it's guilt by association. And I think in some cases, maybe you're right. Maybe that's not necessarily fair to him because it is guilt by association. But I think that other left-wing communities, like, for example, you know, like Destiny's community has been hostile to me, but they have been... Destiny's community is a lot different. And I can't speak to... I know Hasan and Destiny have, like, a lot more personal... like.
Yeah, Destiny's chat, Destiny's community, they're more of, like, sex freaks degenerates, and Hasan has more of the terrorist degenerates.
You know, friction than like I and Destiny have really had over the years, I would say. So like there's not really that same level of animosity. But when Destiny's community attacks me, they attack things that I say. When Hasan's community attacks me, they attack who I am. They come after me, my lifestyle, my appearance, my parents, stuff like that.
Happens in the gaming community too. Like if I come out and say that I don't like a game, or I think that a game looks like it's got some DEI woke shit in it, or the people at the company are woke and DEI, dude, they will like go into my profiles, find pictures of me and post it and then laugh at me and like, oh, I can't believe this guy is making fun of DEI when he looks like this. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you straight up went into my profile to find old pictures of me when I was, like, 20. Like, you people are fucking insane. Like, seriously, hold on. You gotta see this. So, I just made a joke. I made a joke. I actually don't even actually believe this now. I do believe that IGN does give an extra point because they say that they do this. But, like, holy shit, man. When you 28 replies. Let's check them out, shall we? IGN sucks and this article sucks, but I just did some digging and I think the score is right. Might play this one. Looks way better than the first one. Also, you people don't know me. Shut the fuck up. It's weird how dumb people are nowadays using the acronym DEI in this context. Okay, this guy tries to explain DEI to me and is talking about DEI from 1929 and it doesn't even make any fucking sense. Do you idiots even know what DEI means? Okay, sure, why not? This guy's based. It's usually about 4 extra for DEI slop. And then you get 5 people jumping in on it. Oh, little boy, I'm not the one crying here. You're so inadequate that you haven't stopped crying. Weird way to admit the internet that algae is smarter than you. Like, I come in and I just say a joke. And these people freak the fuck out. This got to be a bot. That's kind of funny. Sure, I see that all the time. It's kind of lost its humor. Yeah, dude, every game should have white, muscular, half-naked men. That's what makes good games good, I guess. What the fuck are you talking about? Need help foisting your clan flag on the pickup, buddy? DEI is used as a generic badge to suggest 2 things. You hate anybody that isn't white, or you think they're not qualified for the positions they got just because they're something other than a straight white man. This person's fucking stupid. 9 out of 10 times, it's the main character of the game that's not competent enough and needs their help to get things done. What the fuck are you talking about? Go back to playing Nintendogs if you hate humans in your game so much, fragile little man. Because after first act, you wake up from a dream, you in the back of a horse-drawn cart being led to... Whoa! See? It really just a re-release of Skyrim. Like, what the fuck? Uh-oh. Is there a black person in the game or a woman? Please tell me. It's like, these people are fucking ridiculous. They live in a completely different world. About a video game, by the way. A video game that I'm probably going to play and enjoy. Like, holy shit.
And that's Destiny's community. Now they attack your family. Yes, exactly. It's personal. Now, whenever you talk about like Destiny's community, I think that they're much more like, oh, but you said this and you said that. And maybe you think it's a bad faith interpretation, but it's generally based on something that's said, not personal, right?
Okay, to be fair, Destiny's community is pretty unhinged, all right? They defend him literally admitting that he likes 15-year-old girls and having illegal material. Pretty much anytime I mention Destiny, there's like a defender in the comments. There's only like one or two, and they're not as bad as Hasan, but, you know, I thought it's worth a mention. Now, Hasan's community is still way worse, right? It is the worst thing I've ever encountered on God's green earth, right? How has he recruited the literal biggest psychopaths in the entire universe? He's got like a magnet or something that like detects their DNA and brings them to his community. And speaking as someone who's covered freaking Mr. Beast, right? Literally the biggest YouTuber in the entire world with the biggest fan base in the entire world. And I was one of the biggest guys clowning on him at the time, right? And even him, who can literally basically command countries at this point, right? I didn't get a fraction of the hate that I get from simply covering Hasan, right? So Hasan's community is literally thousands of times.
Dude, when I was talking shit about Mr. Beast, you know, the hate comments I was getting from Mr. Beast fans, it was, you're wrong, you're an idiot. I don't care. I like Mr. Beast. I'm gonna keep watching him. And I'm like, okay, sure, you do that. Like, I don't care either.
Times smaller, right? Infinitely smaller than Mr. Beast, but it still has more crazy people in it, and more people harass you over that. Just think about that. The amount of sociopathic freaks you have to have in your community to actually overcome that giant of a number difference, right? And the thing is, nobody will ever understand this unless you are one of the creators who covers Hasan, right? I mean, just ask Ethan, like what happened to him, right? What he thinks of Hasan's community, right? Buddy has been dealing with the absolute worst of it. I'm like number 15 in the list, right? First is like, we got Ethan, Asmongold, Tectone, all these people they go after first. Also, again, the Ludwig clip. It's not brave to call out Hasan. Play the clip.
Pretending to live in a universe where it is like brave to speak out against Hasan. Truly, I think it's pathetic.
Hasan's community makes Destiny's community look civilized, and that's saying a freaking lot. Now, turns out they were harassing QT Cinderella as well because she decided to mention Asmongold while also saying that she completely disagrees with him. What you are dealing with is exactly what Ethan experienced the second he disagreed 1% with Hasan, and now it's happening to Ludwig and QT, and they're finally starting to see how.
Yep, I hope that they don't break and they just apologize and side with Hasan all over again. I hope I kind of hope it gets worse for them so they can see what the fuck everybody else has been dealing with.
Insane Hasan has been all along, and they have gotten the protection, right? Because if you're on Hasan's side, his community doesn't go after you. So they're oblivious to how absolutely insane these people are, and yeah, you're finding out firsthand. Moving on to Ethan talking about QT tweeted this: being optimistic is equal to being a spineless fence-sitting bitch. Thanks for the heads up, everybody. And I don't know exactly what she's referring to here because she deleted a bunch of tweets, but it seems that it's probably the
Dude, don't be deleting tweets, you absolutely fucking dumb bitch. Holy shit. Do not be deleting tweets. Like, at least, like, what I would do, if I say something wrong, I'd repost it and be like, guys, I'm a fucking idiot. Like, come on.
Asmongold situation where she was optimistic about his show with Aiden Ross, and she was basically saying that it could be like a good and unique thing, a separate thing from her show, and Hasan fans and potentially her own community went absolutely crazy on her because you know, you can't
Yeah, now they're gonna go absolutely crazy on anything that she's gonna say, and you can't be for anything Asmongold does. You can't be talking to Asmongold.
Talking to the wrong side, you know, you can't be
Yep.
even mentioning their name, they're Voldemort. Ethan responds, I really think people should lay off QT. She's in an impossible position no matter what side you think she's taking. She seems like a very nice person that got unfortunately mixed up in a volatile situation. I honestly agree, like, people should be leaving her alone because she did nothing wrong in this particular situation. Like, she just mentioned Asmongold.
Yeah, like, even with people that were against QT because she was, you know, siding with Hasan, she wasn't noticing. She didn't care. Like, and it's not like we were actually saying anything horrible. But holy shit, Hasan's fans, that it's so fucking insane. And they actually call for your death and call for violence with wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I mean? They don't say it, but they say it in a way that it can't be, it's not obvious to a court. But everybody fucking knows. Everybody knows Like that comment that I showed you from Facebook on that Outer Worlds thing that I just showed you earlier. I'm talking about drawing me behind a horse for my execution.
Like, come on. She didn't even support him or any of his views or anything like that, right? In fact, she did valuable work for us. She exposed Hasan for having a shock collar, right? Maybe not intentionally, but hey, she's our secret undercover agent, you know, working against Hasan.
By the way, that was just one instance. It happens all the fucking time, dude. I get death threats constantly. Usually they're more open about it. And guess what? Facebook doesn't do shit about it. I try and like report these people and it's like, Facebook's like, sorry, we didn't find anything wrong with this. And I just don't think that their reporting system actually even works. I think it's just there so they can pretend that they have a reporting system.
Hasan gonna call her the Mossad and Israel operative, obviously.
Oh, why do you use Facebook then, Fables? Dude, I use everything. Fuck off.
But anyways, this is just what you deal with when you deal with Hasan. I appreciate the side of Ethan. He knows when too much is too much. Meanwhile, the people who hate him want his total destruction or death. Weird. I was told it's his primary goal in life to send unprovoked misogynistic hate campaigns towards any woman who associates with Hasan. His fan base is literally majority women as well. Like, that's the stupidest argument ever.
No, there's no shock. Like, the electric prongs are taken out of it.
But here's my thing. This is very interesting because I think a lot of Hasan fans perceive this as an attack. What I see is just someone who is put into this position by Hasan because he's perpetually lying, where she is just telling what happened, kind of in a sense to defend herself. Because, like, why should she, someone who's honest and has a good reputation and, you know, is not trying to lie about animal abuse and this kinds of stuff, why should she have to lie, right, about what she knows? So this is someone who's just being honest. I don't believe she's trying to attack Hasan.
I think he lied about having a shock collar. I think he 100% had a shock collar based off what's on my For You page. Maybe I'm getting psyoped. He's adamant that he hasn't shocked her, but that 100% is a shock collar as a fact.
So just like this simple act of acknowledging observable reality is like a radical notion if you're in Hasan's orbit.
Yep.
Like this.
It's not just Hasan's orbit, man. It is the entire fucking left. Even Ethan himself does this. He's just not as bad about it. I think he's slowly being pushed on the right, and he doesn't even know it because the left is going so far left that anything that is not one of these leftoid freaks is right-wing Nazi.
It was somehow shocking to everybody to see Ludwig say, yeah, no, he's lying.
And I think when you come in and you say, oh, no, you're going to get the song call now, I think like you are you are still pretending to live in a universe where it is like brave to speak out against Hasan.
I will say, respectfully disagree with him here, just by the fact that him and Cutie are now being dragged as Zionists in immediate response to describing observable reality. So again, like he makes this statement, I guess, to defend himself, be like, I'm not afraid to criticize Hasan. And also, you're insane, he says, if you think people care that I criticize Hasan, which was immediately proven to be not correct. And that
yeah, I wonder if he's going to say anything about all of the Hasan fan harassment. Probably not.
Unfortunately, I have the feeling that they're both getting kind of a front row seat to what Hasan's audience puts people through.
Yeah, they never had to experience it before, like everybody else.
When they cross him.
All the normal
people. It should be quite obvious to people now who are paying attention that it was never about Israel, right? It was about criticizing Hasan. That's the only reason you would call Ludwig or Cutie Cinderella a Zionist. This is madness.
Oh my God, are they really calling him and her like a Zionist now?
Yep.
Brother, it's
Dude, I've been seeing it everywhere.
gotta be Israel, right? Bro, the level of brain rot, I have never seen this, dude. It's unbelievable how people can be this stupid. And we definitely got like a new meme with Ludwig, dude. It's not brave to call that us up. Bro, like, it was such a dumb thing to say. Moving on to a Hasan fan raging at Ludwig, and they attempt to show that Hasan is a good friend and completely backfires. Going back, it seems like Hasan tried hard to be his friend, but Ludwig is just an a-hole. As someone who was backstabbed by one of his best friends for years, I feel bad for Hasan. Shit's fucked. F Ludwig.
When were they like actually best friends? They were work acquaintances, basically.
When Lug got hit by me in my car when he was on his Vespa, I texted him, "Hey, I hope you're doing all right, King." No response. Does this dude hate me? What the fuck? You too. You both. I always will hit you guys up to be like, "I hope you guys are doing well." dead. Nothing. I am a good friend who is constantly, I'm defeating the allegations of autism and Hasan is not around. I literally am trying my fucking very best.
I'm not a texter.
You are cold.
Dude, he is putting them on the spot. This is such a shitty thing to do. On a show, by the way. He could just have a conversation with them. But he's got to call them out in front of the world. What a shitty thing to do, man.
Bitch, that's what you are. Okay? I text you anytime you're like in a bad mood. I'll be like, oh, is everything good? No response.
Right, so over all the years, right, that was this person's example of Hasan being a good friend. So let me get this straight. I don't know if I heard that wrong. So Hasan hit Ludwig with his car.
I remember that.
He's supposed to be the good friend for asking him if he's okay? Brother, you're the one who hit him. Obviously, you're going to ask if he's okay. That's the least thing you could do if you didn't hospitalize him. You absolute ignoramus. Like, this is the smartest Hasan fan right here, dude. This dumbass Glazer posted this as an example of Hasan being a good person by hitting his friend with a literal car, bro. Cinema. Just
Yeah, dude, I bet the situation when it happened, it was fucking retarded. Like, how do you just hit a guy on a Vespa with a car? Of course Hasan would be that dumb to do that.
cinema. And by the way, Ludwig probably didn't respond because you freaking hit him, bro. Like, I would be pretty pissed as well. If you got backstabbed for doing something as bad as shocking your dog and deplatform anyone who dares to speak against you, you deserved it. You got backstabbed by him not even knowing anything, by believing dumbasses like you who make 10-second clips saying things happen in it that aren't happening. Brother, the evidence is there. Have you seen the overlay? Have you seen the model? What model shock collar did he use then? Like, if you're gonna talk like this, you need to back it up with facts and evidence. But that's apparently fucking like gives Hasan fans a rash. Like,
Dude, the leftoids in general, they cannot provide facts and evidence. They just say shit. To be fair, a lot of people on the right do it too, like Candace Owens. They'll just say shit and not show you.
hormonal rash, they gotta be rushed into the emergency room. Anything but facts and logic. Oh no. This is so embarrassingly parasocial, dog. I feel bad he said the truth about the shock collar. I mean, it's like, it's so insane. And I'm so glad that Ludwig and QT are actually seeing how Hasan's community operates in real time. This is what we've been saying all along. And slowly, one by one, we are converting people. Slowly, through sheer evidence of Hasan's wrongdoings, we are slowly converting everyone onto the right side of history and making them see the truth that was in front of their faces this entire time. Subscribe, guys. The Legendary series is actually making the greatest impact ever. Now, also last time I said that I would officially change by royal decree the Jellywig nickname to something like Bonewig or Ludwig again if he turned on Hasan and made a mogul mail video destroying him. But he did not actually do that. This was like the most room temperature, super late, safe opinion, and I don't think
and it was still fucking way too much for Hasan's audience, apparently.
Warrants a nickname change. I feel like you don't get the pass that easy after supporting Hasan all this time, right? And also, I just love saying Jellywig. Okay, it's my
Jelly
favorite word, so I'm keeping it. All right, actually, second favorite word. My first favorite word is obviously diabolical.
Yeah,
okay,
I knew he was gonna say
favorite. Moving on to the rank #1 gooner, Dan the Dynamic Diddler Clancy. Now, remember how Dan Clancy was supposed to testify in front of Congress on October 8th for Twitch radicalizing people into political violence?
Yeah, I do remember that, and apparently it was postponed indefinitely.
And this was after the Charlie Kirk assassination, and people were looking into what sort of rhetoric actually caused that assassination. And the conversation shifted to people like Hasan, who were advocating to murder their political opponents. Well, that whole meeting was actually postponed, and Dan has responded now. Dan Clancy says he's not too worried about a potential congressional hearing, and that Twitch doesn't have a radicalization problem.
Okay, you can think that if you want. Sure. It's not true.
And of course, it's the wonderful interviewer, Taylor Lorenz.
Why do you think that you guys got dragged into that when it was like sort of following the Charlie Kirk shooting? There didn't seem to be any connection.
There's no connection. I think it's purely what I'll call is company association. They need some number of N people. If you did a cluster of companies that, end up having...
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Clancy. Actually, I want you all to know something. Here, I'm going to try and find it again. I'm going to bring up Nux again. Yeah, here we go. I found it. All right, let's take a look at this. Oh, I need sound. Where's my sound? Why is there no sound? Well, there's no sound on this. Okay, well, let's just read it. Nuxtaku says someone in the government reached out to him about Hasan in preparation for the congressional hearing, asked if I could provide evidence behind these bullet points, and I complied. I was more than happy to assist in any way that I can. How about that? That's crazy, right? That's crazy.
Having users that overlap, and you had Reddit and Discord and Steam, and you say, tell me the fourth company, and you can't mention one of the big ones because you have to have balance. You can't mention X or Facebook or YouTube. Then it's like, well, what's the fourth? So it's proximity. I don't think, to me, I'm not that worried about it because I think, he had no experience. We do not have this problem of radicalization on Twitch.
Dude, does he just not know? Does he just not know, or does he just not care that Hasan Piker is a terrorist supporter, and so are all of his orbiters? You know what they all say.
Public forum, we don't have these private groups. One way to think of it is if you really...
Well, that's true. They're not private groups. They're out front. They're out in public. They let it be known constantly.
View this from a honest and sincere perspective. These things are trying to get information, and to be honest, they probably don't know that much about Twitch.
Yeah.
Right? They're not
True.
Twitch users. So I feel really good that we have, in terms of them trying to understand this landscape, they'll realize, oh, Twitch doesn't really fit with these other ones.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're talking about a group of lawmakers that probably don't know how to turn their computers on, so I don't know how familiar they are with Twitch. I mean, it seems like...
That's a big
first off,
problem.
Taylor Lorenz calling anybody old is hilarious. Oh, these boomers don't know how to turn their computers on. Have you seen yourself? Oh my god. You're thirsting after a guy a decade younger than you. It is diabolical, okay? You need to stop. You need to get a grip. We can see you dripping, all right? Second off, interesting how Dan says there's no connection between Twitch and political violence, okay? Even though there's open terrorist support on his platform, open anti-Semitism. Keep in mind, Mike from PA was banned for 1 week for literally, saying that thing about Jews, which got my video flagged that I can't even say. That's how bad it is. Also, I must point out again, Charlie Kirk was literally Hasan Piker's debate opponent. It happened 2 weeks before the debate, okay? Hasan has openly talked about unaliving his political enemies, the classic K. Rick Scott.
You would kill Rick Scott.
And his community spams literal hearts for a shooter and a terrorist who kills innocent people. And this guy is absolutely radicalizing people into political violence. It's not even a question. It's just a matter of Twitch not enforcing their own rules.
I actually think that, no, it is true that they're not radicalizing people. They have already been radicalized.
It is effing crazy that DJ Dan Clancy said, well, we give Emiru tools like moderation and blocking to prevent something like what happened to her. Don't worry, guys. If a stalker has never typed in chat, Dan Clancy thinks nothing can be done to prevent SA. His response to that was the most disgusting thing ever. He was just like, she should have banned him from chat, as if that would do anything. Like, he's so stupid. We don't have a radicalization problem. I believe I'm going to have to disagree with you. We don't have a radicalization problem. Q Hasan saying he stands 10 toes down in support of a terrorist organization. Which one? Which one? We got multiple here. I would love to see Dan Clancy watch a couple of Hasan clips where he calls innocent people pedophiles, rapists, and other derogatory terms, and explain to everyone why it's not against Twitch policy, but calling someone fat is. Dude,
the problem is, it actually is against Twitch policy, and they're just not banning them because that's the golden boy.
Logic with Twitch moderation is gotta be the thing that drives you completely insane. Like, this shit has been pissing us off for so long, and I'm like so sick of this guy, dude. Moving on to more streamers exposing Dan Clancy for apparently going after 19-year-old girls. Hey You Video Game talks about his Dan Clancy TwitchCon experience, immediately stops by 3 19-year-old e-girls. Keep in mind, last time streamer Skara also talked about how Dan was hanging with these young girls. Now, he did say it was a rumor, but this guy is basically confirming that rumor.
I saw Dan Clancy and he thought about going on stage, and there's the one time I talked to Dan Clancy was at this party, and he was going to go on stage while Will was DJing. He kind of peeked, and I said, I think you're allowed to go up there, Mr. Clancy. Of all the people, I think you can go up on stage. And he was like, "Oh, I want to say hi to my friends first." And he
to his
walking,
friends.
And he
all of his friends are 18 to 20-year-old e-girls. How about that?
Immediately stops by
and Hasan Piker.
3 19-year-old e-girls. And all the memes you see about that, let me tell you, I saw Dan probably 20 times, all right? And let me tell you, Dan, I mean, it's not a secret. The man, it's out there, all right? I'm not putting Dan on blast. Everybody
he's not providing new information here.
Already knows. I'm just confirming what everybody already knows. Dan Clancy, he's
a gooning lord.
He's
disgusting.
Natural friend makers. A natural friend maker with e-girls. Yeah, that was that's what happened, all right? I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's nothing weird about that, right?
And that's what happened. That's one way to say it. This is Dan. I'm streaming in Dan's world. All right, we're all part of Dan's world. I'm just trying to, I don't want anybody to send a clip to Dan and then suddenly Clancy, I got the eyes of Clancy on me. He seems like a really good guy. He just seems to really be into e-girls.
Yeah, and he is just allowing terrorist support on the platform. Hasan is his favorite streamer, by the way. He said it.
Is interesting. Very interesting. Dan, don't ban me. I just said it. I just said it's interesting.
Oh, it is very interesting. So you're telling me Dan Clancy, whose phone we know is filled with e-girls that he is obviously gooning to, is actually meeting them in real life. Interesting information. So let's just go over what this guy said, right? Apparently Dan was hanging out with 3, not 1, not 2, not 0, not his wife, but 3 19-year-old e-girls. Not 20, 19-year-old. That is absolutely diabolical. Okay, that is dastardly. Now, this guy is 61 with a wife and kids. Now, I'm not going to claim anything else, obviously, because I don't know. There's no evidence that anything is actually going on, but it's just weird behavior as it is. Why are you doing this?
I think he's just gooning. He might not be sleeping with them, but I think he is gooning.
Hanging out with all these young girls when you're triple their age.
But I don't know. Having that Roblox chain around his neck, that's pretty fucking sus.
Just horrible optics. And you are not a random old man. You are
these people are so out of touch with like culture and reality to the point where you were wearing a Roblox chain around your neck while literally everybody was putting Roblox on blast for child exploitation. And it seems like he's really into that.
CEO of Twitch, all right? A CEO of Twitch. On Twitch's platform, there's a bunch of these e-girls streaming all the time. And it seems like you are using your power as a CEO, right? To get in the good graces with these e-girls, right? Creepily hanging out with a bunch of teen girls. That you have nothing in common with. Now, this guy goes further and he says he saw you 20 times. Now, maybe he's exaggerating a little bit, but he saw you a lot of times, right? He says it's not even a secret. It's a well-known thing. And we've obviously seen Dan Clancy hanging out with his favorite streamer, Extra Emily, as well, right? Now, she's not a 19. I don't know. She's much older, but
she's like 30.
He's a natural friend maker of e-girls, apparently, right? So it feels like he's using his CEO title to get up close and personal. It's this weird power dynamic. You're the CEO, you're their boss. It's just yuck. It's yuck. It's horrible optics for Twitch as a company and makes you look like a weirdo, even if what you were doing is completely
even with all of that aside, he already looks like a weirdo.
Innocent. Wait, a streamer is defending creepy Dan Clancy like his entire career depends on it? I'm shocked. Why is Dan on FaceTime with an e-girl only to desperately hide when he realizes he's on camera? Gooner Goblin. So that one, I don't think he was actually hanging out with that e-girl. Apparently they were just gonna like say hi or something like that. But I don't think it makes it any better at all.
No, it does not matter because he's just always being approached by e-girls because it's probably known like, hey, if you approach Dan Clancy, if you're a hot e-girl, then you might get some clout off of it. Well, that's exactly what happened here in this situation. Because everybody knows what Dan Clancy is all about.
Almost 62
Fuck yeah, Camelcast! Let's go! I love Camelcast.
Year-old millionaire is quickly friends with 19-year-olds. Little different when they're your employees. Natural friend maker with 19-year-old girls when he has power over the social media platform that can make or break their careers. Totally normal, guys. Totally normal.
I actually cannot believe that Camelcast had a tweet represented in a More Pegasus video. Dude, it's like everything's connected.
Nothing to see here, obviously.
Like, I'm in Camelcast chat all the time. I watch his stream like every night. That's crazy.
This is so incredibly icky and gross. Friend maker, the girls allow it because they expect a payday. Might get some extra gifted subs from old Dan here. Might get a little boost in viewership, a boost in revenue, extra ads or something like that. Like, you never know. They're probably just entertaining it because, you know, you're the CEO, dude. Moving on to Ethan calling out the Hasan defense squad. Straight nonsense. Quit hounding Hasan Piker over his dog collar. Valuable journalism here.
Dude, anybody that's like saying this shit, anybody's like, stop talking about the dog collar. It's just making it worse. Like, Hasan needs to tell people to shut the fuck up. Stop making articles about him, trying to defend him. He needs to tell people to stop trying to defend him and just forget about it. And then also Hasan needs to stop talking about it. Because everybody keeps making it worse. And we're just eating it up, man. We're just reposting it, making the memes because the left can't meme, ladies and gentlemen. That's not a new concept.
Fellas.
I mean, I don't even need to read the article. It's just, they're like, stop. He already debunked it, you guys. He has more important stuff to talk about. Okay, great. Yeah, let's keep sweeping for Hasan. No matter how much he... Does it not concern you that he just lies?
Everybody... No, they don't care. They probably do know. Or they don't. They're that fucking retarded.
He loves him, bro. That's what I'm realizing. It seems like people just will look the other way. I don't see what the power is.
And they're just posting Hasan fan accounts. Here you go, freaks, of him being like... By the way, now, as you watch this clip, and this is cited in this article as evidence that he didn't do it, recall now that a few days later, he says the dog wasn't actually even wearing the collar. So, take this in.
This is the one that people are talking about. Okay, this is the one. This is the one that they saw.
This is the one they saw.
But now that's not the one we saw?
Nope, she wasn't wearing it.
I'm confused.
And it really wasn't even tight because her hair is so freaking thick. But it bothered him.
That's exactly what Hasan said. That's crazy. Because that's not what you said.
Look at Taylor. She's like,
that I
yes.
thought
I know,
that
dude.
Yes, girl.
It's hard.
Yes.
It's hard to watch with her like nodding vigorously.
She's loving this.
her collar was too tight. And so we even had a follow-up conversation about it. So when
Yeah, this isn't journalism. This is sniffing each other's farts. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? You're supposed to not have an opinion. You're supposed to, like, gather facts and post about the facts and not be opinionated. You're not a journalist at that point. You're just a fucking talking head.
I saw the whole thing about her.
Are you there? Is anybody there?
Stop, I
or
can't. I've been
yelping or
looking at this the
whatever.
whole time.
Taylor's.
Then after that, we went and filmed a podcast, and she sat under the table of the podcast. It's not like he's
Kayla Lorenz is definitely playing like a Hasan love scene in her head, right? Fantasizing that one day Hasan will call me over, the sun will be shining, the birds will be chirping, and he'll finally confess that he's been in love all along. All of her 25 years of nonstop simping and glazing will finally pay off. Get a grip, lady. You're dripping all over the screen. It's disgusting. Ew. Then he responds to Hasan calling him out.
I actually didn't spend the last 2 years defending genocide. Everyone was lying about it. Who gives a fuck what that lunatic has to say?
Do you think he actually thought that was that funny?
Dude, what kind of laugh is that?
I mean, you know, is he really that amused? Okay, great. Listen. Obviously, disagree with everything you're saying, and obviously, you are the main spreader of this malicious lie that has caused untold trauma to me and my family. But nonetheless, that has nothing to do with the fact that you electrocuted your dog. So if you could address that, that'd be great.
I make a good apology video. Just be honest. Don't try and think that you can trick the internet because you can't. People are smarter than you think, and they'll see through all this bullshit. It's easier for me to say this looking back, of course, but it might be a good lesson for everyone out there.
We've got him. He's a liar. He's always been a liar. He lies about political opponents because he thinks that it's morally justified to lie and slander people if they are political opponents, because it helps his cause and his...
Yep, the ends justify the means, and the means are everybody's dead except for his little circle that he's in, full of terrorist freaks. But guess what? That's just going to lead to them all being dead too, because they're all going to kill each other, because they're all freaks. They're just like parasocial online in a chat. If they actually met each other in real life and had to spend time with each other, they'd realize, oh shit, I fucking hate you and I hate myself.
That's what he thinks. And this is obviously not something I subscribe to. I think it's evil. I think it's disgusting. I think this is why people believe that I've supported genocide and the fallout from it.
Bro, PewDiePie is the absolute GOAT. You know, he literally had
True.
it right all those
Yep.
years ago. That
Uh-huh.
you should just be upfront and honest.
Man, I'm just waiting for the day that I'm gonna have to make one of those apology videos.
The internet is actually smart enough to figure out all of the bullshit, right? Exactly like what happened with Hasan's shock collar, right? He tried to lie and it didn't work. And I know he's in retirement and enjoying his life with his family and stuff, but imagine the cinema if he came back just to shit on Hasan.
No,
bro.
please.
That would be the
Oh, dude, he's not gonna, because he just doesn't want to be involved in all that. But that would be absolute cinema. He would immediately be labeled as a Nazi because of the way he looks and the way his family is. He's just a normal dude, and he's got a whole bunch of money, and he moved out of the country to like.
greatest thing in the entire universe. Honestly, never gonna happen, but you know, a man can dream, just like Taylor Lorenz, obviously.
We have AI now. We can make him say it.
But till then, you just gotta deal with me, all right? Maybe one day. Moving on to NYC mayoral candidate Curtis Sliwa, and he's like cooking Hasan.
There it is. You see Hasan get cooked on Twitter by the New York City dude? I did. I saw it. The New York debate happened yesterday, and Hasan was tweeting, Curtis Siwa, we must send minors to prison.
Context. It's personal for me. My oldest son, Anthony, was the victim of a vicious gang assault.
Bro,
And
everyone
what
is
happened to
constantly
these
beating this guy and
juveniles?
his family.
I almost lost my oldest son to gang violence, and the perpetrators went to family court and got a little pat on the wrist and was sent home to do it again and again. We need to start charging juveniles who commit violent crime in criminal court, and I'll appoint criminal court judges who follow the law and don't just release them because of no cash bail.
Clear difference between you on that.
Curtis Sliwa, we must send minors to perma jail. That's crazy.
Yes. Yes, we should. If they fucking commit violence and kill people, yes. Send them to prison. If they kill people, send them there permanently.
I didn't know this guy. I had no idea who this guy was. But then I saw that he said if they commit violent crimes in a furtherance of street gangs, yes. And then he even goes farther and he says, and people who abuse their animals too, by the way.
Fucking based. Holy shit. What's that guy? Curtis Sliwa? Curtis Sliwa. I'm gonna follow that guy. It's time to take our city back. Let's do it together. What is this, dude? Oh, I have the tab muted.
But this is a battle. I just got off the debate stage. I won the debate again. But this is a battle. Up until November 4th, we got to get the vote out. We've got to start early voting this Saturday. I'm going to be the first to vote because our mission that I've shared with all of you is to make New York City safe again, to have
Fuck yeah, dude.
affordability again, and naturally to give everyone an opportunity at the American dream. But the only way we can do that is if you come out and vote. You get your friends and neighbors and others to vote, and you got to start Saturday with early voting right on up to November 4th. We can.
This guy is based. As I was saying, you're welcome. As I said, I am the NYC narrative. Others just pick up my crumbs. Okay. Yeah, man. Well, I'm definitely following this guy.
Oh my God. I was not familiar with him at all. This dude's wild. Who is this guy?
That's an almost 10x ratio. It's over.
Did somebody say it's over? Okay, I need to stop doing that. All right.
Oh, yeah.
It's just something that activates inside me, but yeah. Hasan getting called out for mistreating his dog is a massive
It's done.
W. I have no idea who this guy is, by the way. Whatever policies he supports or whatever, no idea. But anyways, more attention and more problems for Hasan. As long as like more mainstream people start calling him out, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Brings him one step closer to the cockroach cell with Soycock destiny. Hasan's animal abuse is the most mainstream thing about him, and that's amazing. Shock, my dog.
Yeah, I wish the pro-terrorism would the terrorism support would be the most mainstream thing about him. That's crazy that for some reason news media on both sides just don't care about like streamers. They don't care about actual culture because probably they don't know anything about it because they're old people. They're not involved in the streaming culture. So they just don't know. They don't understand it.
I can't stop. So somebody made like a music video about it. The memes have been legendary. I think I get referenced.
I saw that
I'm
music
not
video.
Too sure, but yeah, the memes are amazing. I support it. Now click this video to have the most epic day ever. Thank you for.
Woo! It's the best day ever. What is happening to Japan? What do you mean? What's going on in Japan? I love Japan. I hope nothing's happening in Japan. I hope Japan is just being Japan. So abroad in Japan, I love this guy's videos, but this one seems like it's not going to be a very fun one.
The other day I started receiving messages from people asking me if Japan is okay, linking a rather ominous sounding video called What is Happening to Japan? It wasn't just the title and thumbnail that were ominous, but the description reading, Is Japan cooked? I've seen a lot of changes and things seem to be getting worse. In an era where I'm now being sent daily AI videos and photos that sorely misrepresent Japan from bizarre and questionable accounts, it made an almost refreshing change to be sent something.
So wait. So he's saying that that thumbnail was AI? Is that what he's pointing to?
Produced by a human being, and more crucially a creator who is one of the biggest foreign content creators living in Japan, with 1.4 million subscribers on YouTube alone and hundreds of thousands more across other social media platforms. In fact, the same video had been chopped up into half a dozen videos without dialogue and shared on Instagram and TikTok, amassing over 3 million views in just a matter of days. Now, I was especially concerned, not just as somebody living in Japan or Tokyo, but actually this street where the thumbnail's taken is somewhere I walk down once or twice a week in Nakameguro. One of my favourite coffee shops is just around the corner, and in fact, this video I made earlier in the year was filmed on the same street, albeit at a different angle, not showing the abandoned house. And not to mention, I've actually been...
Of course, you find the only bad place in the whole area to put in the thumbnail, and it's probably not even that bad.
Living in the neighbourhood myself for the last 3 years. And when I went to take the thumbnail for my video, I quickly noticed a few interesting differences.
Dude, what the fuck, man? Why are so many people out there just lying?
Between my original ungraded photos and the thumbnail of her video. It is a rather fascinating game of spot the difference. So naturally I was a bit concerned to find out what is happening to Japan, especially as over 3 million people had seen this message. For half of the runtime of the video, the creator in question walks through Kabukicho in Shinjuku, Japan's biggest nightlife district with a reputation for being dirty and gritty, filming bin bags, litter and homeless people. In the short form content, the same videos show the litter being intercut at times with foreign tourists, who are queuing unremarkably to take a photo of the Toho Godzilla statue, although the angle of the statue was left out of the footage. And it's at this point I need to reiterate, if you don't know Japan, Kabukicho or Shinjuku can be a bit of a shock. It's the equivalent of walking through downtown LA or Soho in London. And in recent years...
Except for there's probably not a bunch of violent freaks that are willing to commit violence. There's probably not a bunch of naked people.
It's been gentrified more than perhaps anywhere in Tokyo. It used to be genuinely quite dangerous. I remember 10 years ago, I made a hotel reservation there and had to cancel it after there was a Yakuza shootout quite literally across the road from the hotel. The area is also synonymous with Tokyo's homeless population as far back as 2003, when the film Tokyo Godfathers shone a spotlight on the long-standing homeless population, which, according to the statistics, is thankfully going down. And if you walk around there today, compared to 10 years ago...
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been hearing, that Japan has really been cleaning up.
There are far less homeless people. But crucially, Kabukicho and Shinjuku doesn't represent Tokyo, it doesn't represent Japan, but if you wanted to make Japan look cooked, it would be the first place you would go, pull out your camera and hit record. The other half of the runtime in these videos...
Yeah, and then people see that and they're like, well, Japan is fucked. Japan is full of trash, because all they ever have as reference is like the areas that they've been in that are complete trash, like in LA or like in New York, when in Japan it's like just a few areas. And also, I see a lot of people saying that Japan is cooked, and they go down to like economically struggling areas, which there aren't very many of.
Was dedicated to Nakameguro, a trendy district that's historically one of Tokyo's most artistic neighborhoods, and with a recent history of graffiti, both artistic and just tagging, where people just spray...
Artistic, not autistic.
Spray paint their name.
He just
a few
talks
years
funny.
ago, I think it was 2019, there was quite a lot of graffiti, and the local schools got together to paint over it, and then the graffiti came back again. But when Japanese TV made a video on it, interviewing locals, interestingly, they didn't intercut it with shots of Asia's biggest nightlife district and call it What is Happening to Japan. They called it Residents Express Discomfort at 37 graffiti sites found around Nakameguro Station. And
Yeah, that's an actual headline. Like, Japan still has regular news. I fucking hate the basically Western news. It's all lies and it's all manipulation. It's all for clicks, and they say this over-the-top nonsense to get as many clicks as possible.
Maybe that's why, despite having twice the number of subscribers, they only got 100,000 views, instead of almost 500,000. Silly traditional media attempting to present news in an objective manner in 2025. And so at this point you might be thinking, okay, right, so what's happened to Japan? What happened next? Now lean in, come closer, come over. That was it. That was literally it. In a country of 120 million people, they were all cooked because of some bin bags in a red light district and some spray paint on a wall down 6 or 7 streets in the...
And it'd be one thing if you said that and it actually was cooked, or these areas actually were cooked, or people were cooked, or it was the opposite. I think you can say Japan is cooked and then show that it definitely is not cooked.
Capital city. And while the YouTube video was 15 long, stupid minutes I'll never get back, it was the short form content that really concerned me. We live in a scary time when more people now than ever before learn things about countries and cultures from 30 to 60-second videos without context, and where the more sensationalist the videos are, the more you will be rewarded for it.
Yeah, and then you see one, and then you get another one because the algorithm's like, oh, you want to see the bad stuff in Japan? Well, here's another area that's in Japan, and here's another, and another, and another, and another. And a lot of times it's the same area or the same areas, just from different angles or different parts of the area.
People are angry, both in Japan and around the world at the moment, and this video, or these videos, seem to be exceptional rage bait that made a lot of people angry. Without any exposition on TikTok.
I used to watch videos of people like going into the dangerous areas of Japan, and they weren't even that dangerous. Like, you're most likely going to be okay. Especially if you look like a normal person.
Instagram, YouTube Shorts, they showed a series of awful images in a densely populated area. And if you look at the comment sections, particularly on those shorts, you will see the most vile, hateful, angry comments that you can find. A creator isn't responsible for what people comment on their content, but subtle choices, the way the images and clips are cut and edited together, with the message that goes with it, can have a very powerful effect. As somebody who's edited over 300 videos, I'm more aware of that than anyone. The most unsettling thing is it's never been easier to monetize sensationalist slop content. And if you do it, you'll be richly rewarded for it. Case in point, this video, the creator pointed out, made $1,500, which is a seriously impressive amount of money for going around filming some bin bags and some spray paint in a video that would have taken a matter of hours to record. And this is one of the things that worries me the most, the monetization of slop sensationalist content. That's one thing I want to discuss.
Yeah, that's why my videos don't get very many views, I think, because the slop sensational content that I make is real, and it's like actually real things, and it's not trying to lie and misconstrue and like manipulate for money. I say true things, but I'm over the top about the true things a little bit. But once you get into the video, you end up being like, oh, well, this is obvious. Or I get a bunch of freaks that are like, you're just lying, and they don't watch the video, and then they insult the way I look.
A little bit later on.
Call me a
At this
Nazi.
point I thought, look, just don't say anything, bite your tongue, move on. But when I saw millions upon millions of views, people angry, a current backdrop of sensationalist slop content taking over, and a rise in anti-foreign sentiment here in Japan, I snapped. I had to say something. I chose to bring attention to it publicly. And I quickly received 2 replies. The first was from a guy who posted a photo of some graffiti he saw in...
Yeah, compare it to America is cooked videos, or, you know, England is cooked, and you'll see, like, dude, so many videos in LA, in New York, in, like, the top cities in America, where it's just people openly doing drugs for blocks and blocks and blocks, and then you'll get, like, a nice city area where those people aren't allowed most of the time. Sometimes they break through. And then you get more blocks and blocks and blocks. And then you get an entire ghetto. Some cities have multiple.
1993, pointing out graffiti has always been around in Tokyo. And the other comment was from the content creator herself.
Yeah, and I don't even really mind graffiti if it looks nice. Like, I like graffiti, that dirty graffiti aesthetic, especially in anime.
who told me to take it down. This was now a creator on creator matter, and they were just a humble creator with a GoPro, somehow conveniently forgetting they were one of the biggest foreign content creators in Japan. Now, I think if you are a large content creator, both literally and metaphorically,
you have a large responsibility.
You should be...
Yeah, Uncle Ben said it the best. With great power comes great responsibility. And these people are not practicing great responsibility.
Willing to accept a degree of scrutiny. I know I do. Every time I release a video, people attack me for various things. And if I see something that I believe misconstrues reality, then I'm going to call it out as well. Impressively, no less than 6 hours later, she'd shot, edited, and released an entire video about what she'd called an attack, calling me a gatekeeper. I was accused of painting Japan as a utopia. I was accused of excluding her from my friendship group, somebody I've never met, never spoken to. I was accused of being grumpy, maybe
compared to a lot of places, it basically is a utopia.
Because her viewers had claimed that she was more attractive than me and less grumpy. And no, I'm not making this up. This is
holy shit. Like, these people, they immediately go to insulting looks. Like I just said, that happens to me all the time.
Actually a real video. And finally I was called the C word, just to add the cherry on top. It is ironically one of the most bizarre...
see you next Tuesday.
Personal rambling attacks that I've ever had. And I think it is really pointless. It degrades any sort of debate or conversation. And it's the least important thing that I want to talk about today. And for some clarity, I really don't dislike this person. I dislike their content, not just this video, but some other videos, which I'll discuss. I know I can be sarcastic and silly, but I'm genuinely not a malicious person. I quite honestly wish her well. And I ask you, if you disagree with her, if you disagree with me, that you always comment in a respectful manner and don't share any hatred online. There's already enough of that going around. And I'm making this video for two reasons. Number one, there are much bigger issues in play here around content creation, around Japan, and I want to discuss those. And second of all, some people see it as me bullying another creator because they don't understand why I would bring this up. And honestly, I don't do this sort of thing lightly. The only time I think I've ever called out a creator was Mr. Beast last year when he partnered with Logan Paul, a man who did awful things in Japan, which I had to discuss publicly on Japanese national television. I didn't enjoy making that video or the attention or scrutiny.
Dude, unfortunately, I think Logan Paul sparked this whole movement of nuisance streamers, and that's fucking sad, man. Because they go to these Asian countries and crash out just like he did in the streets.
It brought me...
They do
I
worse
hate
shit,
myself
though.
sometimes, that I can't keep my mouth shut on certain things. But when you feel something is profoundly wrong in here, you have to talk about it. I've held my tongue previously on other content that this creator has produced. A few years ago, a friend showed me a clip of a video in which the same person walked through an economically deprived part of Tokyo filming homeless people.
Oh my gosh, this is a rough area.
Under the guise of showing the real Japan, filming the most vulnerable people in society
and like, honestly, these look like wholesome type of homeless people. If this is what their homeless population looks like, man, I'm jealous.
Posting it online. Like, I've had Japanese friends tell me this sort of stuff makes them feel uncomfortable. Beyond that, it sort of portrays Japan as this magical place where there's a barrier between us, where if you speak Japanese, they will bounce around, they will scream and shout, it will cure depression. As if the entire country is one big social experiment waiting to be exploited. And I worry in an era of nuisance content creators coming to Japan doing things that are unspeakably bad. They might see this sort of content and go, wow, you get $1,500 for that. Maybe start to wave cameras around in the faces of homeless people, potentially leading to even more nuisance content. And when the cost of making such content is nothing, but the profits are extraordinary.
Yeah, a lot of nuisance streamers are fucking retarded, and they'll go to these places and they'll be like, they have this solid culture. How can I make everything worse for them? How can I make people uncomfortable? How can I make people angry?
The only real thing stopping you from doing that is morals. And as we've seen time and again with streamers in Japan, morals are often in short supply. And coupled with the fact there's rising anti-foreign sentiment in Japan, it makes me concerned and uncomfortable. So what are the real issues facing Japan? What is happening to Japan? In the last few weeks, I've been travelling around the country, filming videos. I've been to Sendai, Nagano, Nagoya, Gifu, Okinawa, and spending time with the locals out there, talking with them, hearing their concerns. I can assure you, none of them care about a fucking bin bag in Shinjuku or some spray paint on a wall in Nakameguro. The two most notable things are depopulation and a cost of living crisis.
Yeah, the only people who care about this are people who are brain rotted who can't stop scrolling online.
And funnily enough, while this stuff was happening. I was on an island in Okinawa, interviewing the locals on how depopulation has affected their island. Where once there were hundreds of people, today there are 50, and this has obviously affected island life. And quite honestly, I would much rather be editing that video than talking about this. But it will take me weeks to edit that video and do the islanders' story justice. And this takes me to the real crux of the matter, the thing that worries me the most. In the same time that it will take to produce this video, I could go out and film 50 of these videos, make a lot more money with a lot less effort. It is increasingly hard to compete when you're producing videos to a higher standard, when you have to fact check everything. The creator of this video claimed it took 50 hours to produce this video, a claim I find to be, quite frankly, baffling. I'm not sure where the 50 hours went. And you might think, well, he does sound kind of jealous now, maybe...
I think probably she says 50 hours because that's how long she was on vacation, and that's how long she was pulling out her phone and filming every once in a while.
She's right. Maybe he's just not getting the views. And I say far from it. I could go out and make this content in one afternoon in Tokyo. What I'm saying is social media platforms don't care. They don't reward accuracy. They don't reward nuance or objective reason. They reward clicks, they reward attention, they reward sensationalism. Journalistic integrity really doesn't count for much online, unfortunately, to an almost dystopian degree. Some criticisms levelled at me is that I also make sensationalist content and that I only show the nice side of Japan, the squeaky clean, rose-tinted spectacle version of the country. And to that I would say there's a big difference between sensationalist content and clickbait titles and thumbnails. I hate having to pull a stupid face. I hate my thumbnails and titles. But it is simply a matter of survival on an increasingly crowded platform that doesn't share your content unless it has a high click-through rate. And I tried to make up for the stupid faces and titles by delivering content.
But I ain't playing that game. Fuck that. I'm just gonna do what I actually want to do.
That does the subject matter justice. And the claim that I show only the over-romanticised utopian version of Japan is simply ridiculous. Does this look romanticised? Is this a utopia? Does that look romanticised? Is this a utopia? But do I walk through economically deprived parts of Tokyo and Osaka filming homeless people with a GoPro? No, I don't. And I'm sorry if that is the only definition of showing the dark side of Japan that you have. I cover the matters that I genuinely believe are affecting Japan the most. And in fact, I've been speaking with a homeless shelter about doing a documentary, but it's a serious topic and these are people's lives and I need to tackle that carefully. If you want to watch something about Japan's homeless population, Life Where I'm From has made a fantastic documentary series on the subject. I would urge you to go and watch them. I will say, I felt sort of disheartened this year in general about so many things, about the state of the world, and this is sort of to the side of this issue. As you may know, I've been living here
I'm not disheartened about the state of the world because I am in this world, not of it. And I follow my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and that is who is in my heart. So I've got a shield on, and I'm just kind of praying for everybody, you know, to actually do right. And I pray for people to find Jesus. And it seems like a lot of people in Japan are starting to do that. That's really cool, man.
Decade now, about 13 years, and I've been extremely lucky to be here. And I've always tried to show Japan in a fair and balanced way, particularly more rural areas that I love, which I've been lucky to call home. And more I'm seeing comments and discourse online that I'm just a foreign guy living in Japan. I don't understand the culture. I'm a foreign guy exploiting Japan.
Dude, he's been in Japan for a long time at this point. I was watching his videos years ago.
And I've had that claim thrown at me more in the last 12 months than in the last 12 years combined. To the point, it has sort of sucked the energy out of me a bit and made me wonder, what am I doing? Does what I do matter anymore? No matter how many documentaries I make, no matter what...
It matters to me, man. I love your fucking content.
I shine a spotlight on, no matter who I meet or what I do, just a foreign guy exploiting Japan. And I felt lost about what am I doing here? I was far happier as a smaller creator without the burden of expectations, without people overanalyzing everything I said or did. And to be frank, the only thing that keeps me doing this is knowing I'm very lucky to have an amazing...
Yeah, unfortunately now people are going to be calling him out because he doesn't talk enough about the pro-Trump prime minister that just got... that was just voted in.
Audience of people. I know you're not just numbers on a view count, you're actually real people, and I'm very grateful I've got to meet so many of you. I sort of need to know if you're watching, that I'm not going mad here. If there's one thing to take away from this
Oh no. Oh, you're wrong, man. We're all going mad here.
video, it's to remember on the road ahead, whatever the algorithm throws at you, it's never been more important to call out things that are fundamentally wrong. What you choose to click on has honestly never mattered more.
Dude, that's all that I do on this channel is I just look through things, call it out, and you know, I can be wrong. Usually I'm not, but I can be wrong. Especially with culture stuff, like I'm usually pretty spot on with it. And usually my opinions will change on things, and that's like the closest I am to being wrong. I can't think of a wrong thing that I've said in a video.
Unfortunately, much of the time,
Usually I don't give facts though, so that's a pretty easy way to not be wrong about things. Usually I'm just very opinionated on subjects.
don't get a choice on what you click on some of the short form content. We can look at the awful things that are curated for us on screen and accept that as reality, or we can go out into the world and make sense of it for ourselves.
Yep.
We must remember the bigger picture, because if we don't, I think bad things are going to happen. Beyond.
Yeah, I think bad things are going to happen anyway. I think too many people can't see the bigger picture, or they want to be the bigger picture.
This. I don't want to be negative, but I have to speak my mind, otherwise what's the point of it all, right? And the good news is I'm looking forward to getting back to many wonderful videos that I've shot in the last few days, on an island with Natsuki, rummaging through a forest. There's lots of great things to come, so thank you.
Yep, this guy's videos are awesome. I've got them linked down there in the description. You should definitely go check him out because he makes a 10 out of 10 content, and he really loves the things that he makes, and it looks great. And it sounds great and it feels great. It's just really good, feel good content. Even when he's making like videos about earthquakes and videos about nuclear radiation leaks. Over $1 billion in Counter-Strike market cap lost overnight. And I think it's going to get much, much worse. I've been waiting for this to happen, dude. If you've got all your money into gambling investments, I kind of don't feel bad for you, especially if you base your entire existence on how much money your investments bring in. Like, I feel bad that your life is kind of uprooted. A lot of people, apparently, a lot of people, it ruined their life. And I've heard that some people ended their life over it. And that's crazy, man. Should not be happening. But I was warning people this day would come.
I talked about this a little bit last night on stream, but it wasn't until this morning that I really grasped the magnitude of the CS2 update and subsequent market crash. It's like I've wandered into the aftermath of an alien invasion. It is just a catastrophic disaster in the skins marketplace. And I think a lot of you have probably seen the headlines where basically overnight after a CS2 update, the skins market lost over $1 billion in market cap. I imagine most of you know how big CS2 skins are, but just in case there's any octogenarians out there that don't know, in Counter-Strike...
There's like underground criminal organizations that use Counter-Strike skins as investment. Like that's actually a thing. I've made videos about it before. Bellular News is who I was watching to get that content at first, and then I watched a whole bunch of other people talk about it, people who were involved in it. CoffeeZilla talked about it.
There are cases and there are skins, and your skins have real world value where you can sell them on the marketplace for real money. It's a huge industry, billions of dollars. And yesterday, there was a change to the way trade-ups work, which allowed people to trade up to knives, meaning knives, the most valuable items for the most...
Bro, this shit is fucking ridiculous, man. This is all because of a video game.
Part by and large, we're going...
This is all because of microtransactions, by the way, which I think should not be in video games whatsoever because of shit like this.
Going to be easier to get. It also applies to gloves in-game as well, so since knives and gloves are no longer as rare as they were, their value has dropped significantly pretty much across the board. It's looking like fucking Ubisoft stock here with this plummet. So while the value decreased on the rarest items in the game, knives and gloves, the value on previously very cheap items fucking 1000x. Like, I'm exaggerating a bit, but like 20 to 30x. So on some cheap red items, they went from like $2 to $40 immediately following this announcement. And it is just crazy the effect that this update has had on the market. It really is crazy the effect it had on it. I almost feel like if Valve came out and said, hey guys, we're shutting down Counter-Strike next week, it probably wouldn't have affected the market this drastically. This update has had such a significant effect on the CS skins marketplace. It is
good,
nuts.
Fuck 'em.
Now, I want to show you a couple of clips from other content creators that have been covering this because it is just fascinating.
Valve announced they were now letting anybody exchange 5 of their covert items for a singular knife. If you somehow don't know anything about Counter-Strike, basically you open loot crates for a chance at rare guns and knives. Knives often selling for thousands of dollars, sometimes even tens of thousands of dollars, with the odds of pulling a covert item being about 0.64% and the odds of pulling a knife being about 0.25.
That's kind of the gist of how this works now. So previously, some of those covert items were very cheap. Now, a lot of them are very expensive since you can trade up into a knife. And, well, the people that had been, accumulating a very valuable CS inventory, they lost a lot of value there because of this. Except for, like, the very rare few that were hoarding reds in their inventory, they make out like fucking kings here because, like I said, all of that is kind of like 20 to 30x. But for people that just want a knife, now they have a cheaper way of getting one. So there's been...
Yeah, I think they probably made this change because of third-party gambling sites and things like that, and they were trying to do some damage to them. And that could really cause $1 billion to fall off, man. Just like that, overnight.
A big, fiery debate here on whether or not this was good for the game or bad, because from the perspective of the collectors and the people that buy and sell skins, it's devastating. But for people who just like play the game and like casually want to enjoy skins, it's pretty helpful to them. So right now, from everything I can see, the community's kind of split down the middle on whether or not this is like an overall...
Yeah, people who are just like obsessed with making money. I kind of don't feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for Valve either. I think they need to outright just eliminate the skins because holy shit, there's so much criminality going on because they exist. And they outright know it, and they're not going to do anything about it because it's just skirting the law. It's not outright illegal, which I think is complete bullshit, man.
Net positive to, like, sync the CS skins marketplace, which does have a lot of degeneracy with all, like, the CS gambling sites and all of that.
Yep.
In order to make it more accessible to people, like, financially accessible to them to get these rare skins and stuff. So it's been, like, really back and forth on it, and it is interesting to see. Over $1 billion has been lost on the market cap from this update, but there are some people celebrating it and some people like actually feeling like their lives have been ruined by it.
Well, because knives were now much easier to obtain, the entire market for Counter-Strike skins plummeted, and as of right now, $2 billion has been lost from what was originally a $6 billion market cap in the last 12 hours or so. Popular Counter-Strike creator Anomaly showing knives that all plummeted over 50.
Dude, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get even worse. I think we'll even get up to $3 billion.
To 70% in value, whilst covert items had skyrocketed, with some even going up 1,000% in value, as you could now trade these for knives. People were celebrating shortly after the update that they were able to turn 5 cheap covert skins into a $3,000 knife, whilst others tweeting they were going to off themselves, and some subreddits even posting hotline numbers because of the news.
I wasn't exaggerating when I said there are some people that actually do feel as though their lives have been ruined from this because this market is so big, people have actually invested blood, sweat, tears, and come into it, like financially all in, balls deep on CS skins. So when the inventory...
Imagine basing your entire life on skins from a video game, and that's how you stay, like, financially, that's how you financially sustain yourself. And that's how you're making money, and that's how you get rich. That's, dude, absolute degenerate behavior.
That they've accumulated through all of these years worth of, like, pumping it and putting tons of money into it, now just, like, crashes overnight. A lot of people have felt as though it's like, a disaster that they can't recover from. And as Dolan mentioned, people that had red items, like $5 worth of red items.
And like we're a bunch of the people. Okay, when I was making CS:GO videos and CS2 videos about the gambling and stuff and the degeneracy, people were attacking me just because I was predicting that this was going to happen. Not in this way, but I predicted that the market was going to crash. And people were attacking me for it. And I was just like, all right, guys, don't listen to me. Sure.
Trading up to a previous...
Like, how is, like, literally every prediction that I make come fucking true? Is it because I'm just online too much? I see too much? I do too much research? And I can just notice the patterns of other things doing the exact same thing? Like, holy shit, dude.
$3,000 knife, they're excited. Like, this just shows how divisive the change is here.
Into one knife. Now this is for stat track and this is for regular. This is absolutely insane. It's already wreaking havoc on many aspects of the market. You can look at something like the Starlight Protector was just a couple dollars, and now instead we're looking at something that's upwards of $50, $60. It went from $2 to nearly $45 in just the span of a couple hours. It is also wreaking havoc in other areas of the market. If we want to look at this M9 Bayonet Doppler, remember this was a $2,000 to $3,000 cash skin. Now a buy order for less than 1,000 Steam dollars, which is like 750 USD, and it's in a near free fall right now.
There's just a couple of quick examples here from some items that have been hit hard and some that have been really boosted hard. Now, another thing that it had a huge effect on is not just the items themselves, but the cases. The cases are, from what I can see, for the most part, going way up in price because now there's more valuable items in there.
And you know what's going to be real weird is what if people aren't gonna be buying a bunch of this stuff because they think that the market is unstable, so they're like, I'm not gonna buy these expensive items just because the market might crash for these, it might return back to normal, and that's gonna make the market crash even harder. That's probably why I lost even more. That's probably why I lost another billion from the last time I checked.
These previously like very low value items have absolutely popped the fuck off. They're going ballistic right now, which means the cases are also getting a big bump here in their price. Now, again, it's only been like a day, so it's hard to know how long the market will be in this like downward trajectory because of this, or if it'll start to like stabilize or even bounce back and, you know, recover and go up. I have no idea. It's still very fresh. This is all very new.
Yeah, but even with that, people are going to be iffy on it, and I don't know. I really don't. I think it's going to go up and down and up and down, and then it's going to eventually, here's how it's going to happen, because it always fucking happens, dude. It's going to go up and up and up and up, and people are going to be like, oh shit, everybody get in, and then it's going to go up too much. More people than ever are going to get involved, and then it's going to go up and up and up, and then just bang, overnight it crashes. That's what happened with the stock market. Literally, this is exactly how the stock market used to work before the stock market crashed the first time. Back in like, when was it? In the 1920s? The huge stock market crash literally worked exactly how this is going. Like, holy shit. Do people not know history? Like, this is how it's going to happen. It might take a few years, but it's only been like a year since I was talking about this.
And I'm not the biggest CS skins guy. I don't do a lot of case opening or anything like that. I'm just not really a big skins guy in any game. But from my limited understanding here, with my little Neanderthal noodle, I can't imagine knives will ever get back to the value that they were, because now you have a much more reliable and cost-efficient way of getting knives. I don't see how they will get their value back to the levels that we had previously seen with these outrageously high numbers in the thousands upon thousands of dollars. I feel like with this system in place, assuming they don't change it or do some kind of like tweaks or overhauls, if it stays exactly as it is, I really don't see how knives will bounce back to their previous heights. But who knows? I'm obviously not an expert in this field, and I've seen some people weighing in that they believe this could...
But I do pay attention, and I do check out history, and I'm very much into history, and this really seems like the stock market crash on a smaller level.
Eventually be a net positive, where now, even though knives, gloves, all that have lost a lot of value, the gap in the market will be made up for by the reds. Like, I've seen people speculating, but right now that's all you can do is just kind of speculate to see what happens next. This is a huge change, and it feels like, at least to me, that the reason behind this change was Valve wanting to make knives more accessible to normal players that aren't engaging in the CS stock market here. So that way they could actually get their hands on some of these knives without needing...
Yeah, even he recognizes this is just like the stock market. This is actually just like how the stock market was back when it first started.
To fork over thousands upon thousands of clams for it, or, you know, going to, like, gambling sites or whatever. Because getting them through crates, it's very low odds. And it seems like maybe Valve wanted to try and, you know, get everyone on the same playing field with ability to access these items. And in doing so, decimated the stock market, which maybe they want to do. Maybe they're tired of CS skins being a stock market and that kind of thing. I don't really know. What I do know, though, is that this was a huge change. And I'm going to definitely be keeping my peepers on it to see what happens with the market going forward. Anyway, that's really about it. Yep.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to talk about this again, because, like, it's literally going down pretty much exactly how I thought it would. The thing that they did to make it happen, didn't predict that, but everything else I 100% predicted. I just knew that something was going to give. I knew that, like, whether it would be made illegal or they changed the way it's regulated, you know, I just didn't predict that they would just change the accessibility of some of the items, which is crazy. Now, I love Halo. I've always loved Halo, except for whenever Halo 4 came out, I was like, oh man, I was kind of disappointed. And then Halo 5 came out and I was like, oh no, it doesn't have co-op. Me and my brother can't play it together. I'm out on it. I'm not getting it. I think I was playing like Black Ops 2 or something at the time. I don't remember what era that came out in. I was playing a different co-op game with my brother, because that's really what I judged like games on, because if we didn't play together, we only had like 30 minutes to an hour to play if we played a single player game. Like GTA 4, I'd only get to play it for like an hour, and then I'd have to give it up, and then Austin, my brother, would play it for an hour. But if we played together, then we got like 2 hours of game time. So whenever they stopped doing that, that's when I was out on Halo. Okay, that escalated immediately. Talking about some Halo news, let's get into it.
Things are really heating up for Halo right now. We have the art director that recently left Halo Studios, that was there for 17 years, making new posts, possibly referencing why he left, and it's kind of dark, actually. We also have Rebs Gaming, a prominent journalist I love referencing, doubling down on the generative AI post, and this is something that we already have evidence.
Yeah, generative AI, and they switched to Unreal Engine. How about that?
For the Halo Studios.
Get ready for Unreal Engine games to start looking even more like other Unreal Engine games.
Senior AI engineer job listing was already up last year. I think we already covered it. They were to design and implement scalable and efficient solutions that leverage generative AI and ML to augment in-game experiences and improve how we make games. Now, was this done ethically? What kind of AI is it? This is something that we don't know anything about really, other than it's generative AI.
They're further, I'm like not this big anti-AI guy. I am an anti-corporations using AI because I know how they act. I know the way that they use these things. I know what they're going to use it for. They're going to use it to cut costs, cut corners, and take the soul out of it. And then eventually they're just going to make fully generated AI games. And which I'm not against. I'm just against like Microsoft doing it. I'm against like Activision doing it.
This is something that could be very bad, but it could also be good in the way that they're using it. It could be something like terrain generation or sending emails or simple things like that that kind of make the process.
No, I disagree. The terrain generation stuff like that, I disagree. Because, you know, they're going to be using tools that other people are using, especially if they're going to be switching to the Unreal Engine, which they have. So the tools that they're going to be using are going to be the same AI tools others are using. And it already kind of, it's got that old Halo vibe and Halo Infinite. I think they're getting rid of that.
It's faster. But there is also inside sources saying that it's done to basically close up deadlines and make their jobs harder unless they use AI, which I think is indefinitely going to lead to massive issues. We don't want a slop game. We don't want a slop Halo game made by...
Well, so far, we've been getting some slop, but it's been corporate slop. Now we're going to get corporate AI slop.
AI. that is why people are so concerned and are kind of like giving up, I guess, on the franchise, which I think on that fact alone is a bit of a stretch. We just got to see what they're working on and how it's going
I'm on the edge waiting. I gave up, but I'm on the edge. You know, I'm looking over the edge at Halo that like fell off the cliff, and like, hey, you gonna climb back up? If you try and climb back up, I'll just extend my hand out. I'll give you a hand. I'll pull you back up. But so far, they're slapping my hand away.
to play out, especially with the release. Is it all going to be AI? No one wants that, right? Well, Revs Gaming has basically been getting hit on Reddit. No one wants his post on there, even though references about it from Jez Corden is still up. So, yeah, he's getting kind of blacklisted and beat up on Reddit. Kind of sucks, but yes, we have Glenn Israel making a large post. And basically, in a nutshell...
Oh, no, not Israel!
It looks like he has said nothing about Halo Studios, but this is just following 2 weeks after he said that he is no longer contributing to Halo. After working on it for so long, he is basically leaving this dark message where you don't have to work, you don't have to give up your dignity, your ethics, and values. Well, he just added a couple new posts where he doesn't reference Halo or 343 or Studios or whatever. He talks about law code with getting hired and fired and how it's actually illegal in the state of Washington to blacklist someone. And so I think that this may have ended in some kind of fallout. A lot of people are saying this person was a disgruntled employee, as if they're kind of a nuisance, which we just don't know enough to.
I can't believe there are people out there that defend these corporate slot companies. Like, I made a post on an IGN, or I made a reply on an IGN post, and just the amount of people that were insulting me and defending IGN was insane. And I bet half of them were bots, but still, maybe even over half, maybe all of them. I don't know. But like, it is insane that all these people come out to defend these corporations. It's like, bro, the criticism is not hate. I'm not trying to hate. I'm telling them that what they're doing is destroying everything and it's wrong. And then people are like, you're a racist, you're a Nazi. What, do you not like it because there was a black person in the game? And I'm like, dude, go fuck yourself. You don't know me.
Really make that claim. I don't know how effective this person was at their job or if they were causing trouble, but I think this is kind of in alignment with a lot of people that have left. Like, a lot of people, pretty much everyone that worked on Halo Infinite is gone. That's just a fact, right? And a lot of people that left, including my own verified sources. I mean, this is just what I'm saying from my own source that I've verified myself, that I have proof of. I can't share it, but I have proof of it, is that these people are disgruntled. Generally, the culture there is disgruntled, but you don't even have to believe me. Look at people that already are saying things like this publicly about Halo Studios still, or the revamped 343, right? So the culture or something there is not good. Someone needs to go in there.
It's corporate. It's corporate culture. It's the same culture that's in every other like corporation. That's it.
And do some quality check as far as the staff goes, it would seem, right? This is problematic. Again, this could be a disgruntled employee, but this is someone that's talking about how they say that
they're all disgruntled employees. Everybody that comes out against these corporations after they've been fired, they're all disgruntled. No, after a while, you start to notice the pattern that they're all doing the same shit.
If you feel compelled to quit in the state of Washington, then this is a form of wrongful termination, constructive discharge. This is someone that just loved Halo. They are looking to take some form of legal action, it seems. They say it could be that they demand you to delegate core responsibilities of your role without justification or without formally changing your job description. The list of potential tactics is long, and so what he is saying here is actually kind of rhyming with themes that we've seen in the past. Just disorganization, putting people here or there, not fully hiring them, putting them on contracts. Yeah, I think there's been a lot of...
yeah, and we all know that the people who've been paying attention, that they really like their contracted employees over at 343 or Halo Studios now. And they'll contract in some employees, And then whenever they don't need them anymore, they get rid of them. They cancel the contract, or the contract ends. And then some problems happen, some problems occur, and then they have to get some new employees. And that's why there's no heart and soul in the games anymore. Because they're just cutting costs. They're cutting corners. And to make as much money as possible. And then they put microtransactions in it. They put battle passes, multiple battle passes. Oh, you missed a battle pass? You can spend full price on all of the previous battle passes.
Misunderstanding about what generative AI is. As far as how it's being implemented in the game, well, one, we don't know how it's being implemented, but this is possibly why he left. Possibly the art director here is being replaced with Midjourney or something, some kind of AI image generator to visualize new parts and worlds and elements for the artist to work on as far as like 3D models and textures. I gotta guess, honestly, I think textures are probably being AI generated in the next Halo game, if I had to guess, but I think this is going to be a widespread issue.
Dude, I can't wait for people online to be saying like, look how good Halo looks. Look at these textures. Everything looks amazing.
Here pretty soon, if not already. A lot of games.
This is gearing up to be the greatest Halo of all time, which I heard literally every fucking Halo say since Halo Reach.
They're probably using this stuff in their pipeline to some degree. Now, again, a lot of this you should take with a grain of salt because these are just rumors coming from kind of solid places, but again...
Yeah, but it's also the same types of rumors that came from all the other places that have the same rumors, you know, like Activision, you know, using AI-generated shit, and they're firing employees, and then they use more AI-generated shit.
We don't have official confirmations of them. It's still sounding and seeming a lot like what we saw before Halo Infinite released. So I'm not so quick to dismiss this. A lot of people want to dismiss Rebs and what he is saying. I really feel like I should make a compilation of all the rumors in the past decade and see which ones have come out to be true so far, because I think pretty much all of them were true about Halo Infinite. Like, pretty much most of the rumors, including the grappling hook, turned out to be true. And what we're hearing right now is that the project is in crisis, that it's going to be a Halo CE remake, put on everything, put on PS5, put on the Switch, put on the Xbox, on PC, and it's going to have modern gameplay elements like sprint and other things of that nature, right? Updated modern gameplay.
And it's going to not have any heart and soul, and I'd just rather play the original one, man.
This is just what we're...
That's the same way with Oblivion Remastered. I'd just rather play the original one.
We're hearing, and I think that we should just wait and see what they have to show. Now, with that being said, I think someone was joking about this, where that because Red versus Blue has been kind of going viral again, a lot of people are sharing old clips, loving it for what it was, and Monty Ohm and his wonderful work on the franchise on Red versus Blue. But someone said or joked about this, that this is actually what Halo Studios has been working on, is remastering Red versus Blue, and that is what the what Worlds is actually going to be revealing. And I would be livid. I got to be honest, like, I like Red versus Blue, but if they are working on remaking a show, a fan show, a Red versus Blue, and making it look prettier, I would absolutely lose my shit.
Dude, like, the reason that people like it so much, like the charm of it so much, is because it's old. They completely miss the fucking point. They don't get it. They're just doing what they know that fans love, Red versus Blue, so let's release a new one. Not saying that they're doing that. I'm just acknowledging this is the type of shit that they do, so I could see them actually doing this, where they're like, well, fans love Red versus Blue. Let's make a new one so we can make as much money as possible. We don't really care. We could make a new thing, a new cool thing, but no, we're just going to use something that already exists because we know that it made money. And we could make money. Don't you want us to make money?
Would be done. We would be making some decisions here because I would be pissed. Okay, I think that would be the biggest waste of time. Not saying it's not, like, deserving, but, like, these guys should be making games, not remastering 20-year-old fan shows, right? And that's not a knock on Red versus Blue. It's just like they need to actually be developing games. But I think that's a joke. But I mean, I was like, the fact that they won't call this reveal a game, they keep calling it a project, makes me worry a little bit. Like they have at 1 p.m. on Friday, the Halo studio.
Or maybe they've got a thing going like Call of Duty was going to do, where it's a perpetual game, a game that changes over time. Like when it's Call of Duty. You know Call of Duty? You get the Call of Duty app, and then you just, all of the Call of Duties that come out get added to that app. Like, it could be something like that. That's usually what this kind of shit is. Or what was it back in the day where they did kind of have something like that? It was like a Halo community project thing where you earn stuff from playing all the Halo games.
Studios project update that we're all waiting for, right? And then the Halo Studios project deep dive. They keep calling it projects. They won't call it games, but maybe that's for a reason I don't fully understand. But I just, it makes me worry that it's not even going to be a game. I think that's going to be a massive disappointment.
Apparently that was now. Hold on. Let's find out what it was, shall we? Hey, look, it's me. From 2024. Halo Campaign Evolved arrives in 2026. Experience enhanced gameplay, additional missions, and new features on... Okay. Let's look at it. Pre-release build. Work in progress. Yep, so it's not real. It was generated. What's this weird filter they've got on it?
According to the data in their networks, the ring has some kind of deep religious significance. They call it Halo. They believe that Halo is some kind of weapon.
What sort of weapon is it?
One with unimaginable power.
Okay.
Gotta find the cartographer. We'll keep him busy as long as we can.
Fire Team Charlie, we're on our way.
Touchdown! Hit it, Marines!
This isn't real still. Pre-release build. Work in progress. This looks AI generated. It does. Did you see that needler? I think the effects are AI generated. The textures and the effects.
Lock and load, rock and roll!
This 1000% looks AI.
Give them hell, Chief.
I love how they had to have this pre-imposed image because the last time they showed Halo, it looked fucking retarded. And still, it looks very, very wrong. This whole thing looked like it was AI generated. What the hell, man? What are people saying about this? No flood? Great, that's all I needed to see. Yeah, trash. Listen, I've loved Halo since day one, 20 plus years ago, but can we please have something original, not make a second remake for the original game? The original was perfect. We need to get the story back on track, not whatever happened. Well, they can't do that. They don't know how to make anything new. They keep fucking it up. Looks fucking atrocious, lol. Enough this woke slop engine completely misunderstood the original. They'll remaster CE twice, but Halo 3, never. Right? No, you don't want that. You don't want that. Halo 3 was perfect. Canceled a year of Halo esports for a remake. Right? Is this it? Just Halo? Dude, there's nobody saying anything good about this. Oh, nope, this person. It still had criticism. Not even 5 minutes into the reveal and people are complaining. Y'all are insufferable. Like, bro, it looks like it's AI. The textures and effects look very much AI generated. That's crazy.
If we have completely misunderstood what they have been working on, and it will also want to really make sense if it wasn't a game, because clearly they've been hiring a lot of people that have been working on games. So
yeah, well, we saw what it was.
That's just probably hysteria level speculation. But what do you guys think? Let me know. This might be one of the last videos we have before we jump into the deep dive, you know, like before everything comes out. So honestly, my prediction is obviously some overview footage of the tech. Hopefully it's not all about the tech, because quite frankly, I don't think like we really give a shit. Like we want to see gameplay. We want to see how the game is going to be fun. We want to see
Well, we did not get gameplay. That is not something that we got.
the sandbox. So if they spend an hour talking about the graphics, I'm going to be absolutely just disappointed and bummed out because like even though it might be cool, I really do not give a shit. Like I want to see game at this point. Graphics are fine. Like we just need to see.
That's literally what we got. It was just graphics. There was no gameplay. It kind of faked it being gameplay,
something innovative and
but it had that message down at the bottom that fake gameplay trailers always have. This is not the final product. This is pre-alpha.
Fun and out of the scope of what we would possibly even expect, because everyone's expecting a CE remake. That could be what we're not getting at all. We could be getting something like a multiplayer experience, but or Halo 7 even, or some big Unreal Engine like demo, or even a demo experience maybe that people at the event may play, or they might advertise for next year's release. I'm not sure. But with that being said, you guys let me know what you think. And in fact, just looking at some of the comments on my last video, someone said, my goal is to become a billionaire to buy the franchise and bring back Halo to its former glory. And I said, yeah, if you buy 10% of Microsoft and their stocks, they would probably be forced to listen to you. I think you'd have to buy a lot less than that, but don't get any hopes because that's already in the hundreds of billions of dollars.
Nope. Let's all come together collectively and be like, we got to fix Halo.
The only AI I want involved is in Halo is Cortana, not the damn art designers. Yeah.
Well, you saw. That's not what we got. We actually got AI generated textures and AI generated effects.
Now, before you freak out, dude, it's been 10 years. We are allowed to say that people do not know what they're doing. And you know what? Touche. I just really meant about that one specific thing. But yeah, I think everyone at this point is entitled to basically be mad out of the starting gates, I guess, if you want to. Halo follower, you can't start a video with live service multiplayer Fortnite with generative AI woven into every aspect and expect anyone even remotely interested in Halo to stick around. Touche as well. You know, I don't even have really a rebuttal to that other than that.
That confirmed it. Apparently that confirmed it, that they're just going to be using AI textures. Let me check some more. Let me type in Halo AI. Halo producer Damon Kahn on if the remake will use AI. It's a tool in the toolbox. We use Photoshop. There's generative fill, for example. So there you go. New Halo game is okay. Blah blah blah. New report claims Halo Studios has generative AI woven into every aspect of its future game development, from core. All right, fuck. Well, there you go. I'm out of here. I ain't fucking with Halo no more. Donate to the Fables Folly Farm.